Bombus to all.
Bombus.
Hey, it's Hidden Path. Hi. Oh, geez, I just read the Nub Rubbins thing. Everyone loves them some Nub Rubbins, maybe.
Nub Rubbins fan fiction is insane.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have a spear on my leg right now. It's very painful. All right. It's been a while since we played. There's been some changes. We have a new player. Hooray! And I think until I can get the next thing I want to run off the ground, which may or may not be a Western, a Weird West game, using We Deal in Lead, and kind of in the vein of, if anyone else has read Cullen Bunn's The Six Gun, which is really good. Yeah, it is wild. It's very like Hellboyish Western, I would say. I want to run something in that vein, probably do miniseries, which would be every other month in this slot. But until then, I will let everybody know whether we'll do Hidden Path again next month or not. But there is a chance we might. Although I'm seeing if I can get this Western off the ground. Anywho, I'm your boy. I'm an angry Rancor tonight. And I am surrounded by a veritable hive of goodness and obnoxiousness.
I mean, that's
checks out.
All right, let's go around the table. Tell everybody who you is. And for Colin, give us a little bit more than the rest of them will, because we have been graced with your presence in this game. You go first, my friend. You are muted, my friend.
I knew that. Test, and you passed it. Good job, everybody. All right. My name's Colin. You might have seen me lurking around on this channel a little bit. Tonight, I am playing a Nogri, a peacekeeper of sorts. He's going to be based on like the bounty hunter build, so I'm a bounty boy a little bit. But his name is RANCOR, son of Jathamil, father of none. He's a 71-year-old Nogri who's been a peacekeeper on this funky little planet, but hasn't had to do much in the way of peacekeeping, as I believe there's a wonderful pleasure vibe going around. If I haven't, yeah, okay. So, so while everyone's been all loving on each other and feeling all good about it, I haven't really had a chance to whip out my my generational passed down vibro sword known as Honegger's Fang. Thank you very much. Ooh, really haven't had to do much out of the way of maybe like be like, hey, clean that up over there, and hey, go find a room to do that. So now I'm getting older, 71. I find, you know what, I feel like I've missed my calling. I've heard all these legends growing up, you know, of all these ancient warriors of my race, and I never really got the chance to be that. So kind of piecing out.
One thing I would point out.
Yeah.
All the histories and everything you've heard of about your race were all as warrior slaves for the Rakatans. Because you haven't.
Yeah.
The wider galaxy to you is not something that exists.
Yeah, so I mean, like, within that vein, you know, I've heard some great stuff that we did. Maybe, you know, not for the best people, obviously, but I never really got to do any of that. So I'm kind of taking that long walk, shuffling off the coils of being kind of an elder in my clan. And I'm going out there to see if I can right some wrongs and bring some justice and help out whoever I can, with the ultimate goal of hopefully meeting my death by staring my enemy in the face as the light goes out of his eyes and I have his blood on my teeth, claws, and vibro sword. So that's me.
Excellent.
Hey,
Very good.
I'm James. I'm playing Duarela. Definitely not a Jedi. I was hanging around with my good friend Young Ben, and he went wandering into the woods. I've got some really great earplugs in right now. I've been instructed not to eat the gingerbread, and I'm going to find my buddy with Nando and company.
Fair enough.
Ooh, gingerbread. I'm Nate. I'm playing Celestin Jedi Guardian Breeb Wumbu, or Ben Wumbu if he's trying to go incognito.
If you nasty.
Well,
He's
that's
trying to go in and out.
Oh, you know he is.
Speaking of going in and out, I'm pretty sure the Rancor is going to eat me and then poop me out. That
Unless
works.
you cause a blockage, in that case you'd kill him, and that would be doing everyone a service. So you can still save the day as poop.
I'll see what I can do.
Proud of you, Ben.
I'm Warrior. I play playing Nando Balmain. He is a human-ass human, but he's force sensitive, which means if you use the Jedi mind trick, he comes like right away. And he is currently holed up in a hut with one of his crew members, who's being kind of a Debbie Downer about the reunion, honestly, while everybody else is saving everything from burning down or whatever. So
He has a spear in him.
He does have a big spear in him.
yeah, but he's being a bummer to me about me.
But yeah, it's a bummer for me.
Like that is we're in agreement. The one place we're in agreement is that situation is a bummer. Where we're not in agreement is that I'm great.
It's fair. So we're gonna start off right with the bang. Breeb, you look up and this green and black stained Rancor, who has an ogre that it's chomping on, the leftovers of it, has pushed its way out of the wood, the Sonaris wood, and looks right down at you.
Oh, so it totally sees me?
Yeah, it's just like you could hear it sniffing the whole time.
And it's just forest around me, nothing I can hide
You're in
behind.
if you remember correctly, you were in like a little clearing.
Okay.
But yeah, it's forest. You've been on a pretty much straight shot through the wood. So you don't know if there's anything to the left or right. Or beyond.
All right. Well, I am
Probably.
yeah. I will draw my lightsaber.
Okay. You draw your lightsaber.
And I will hit the little lightsaber button. It'll pop out. Does he run away?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
He starts to like circle slowly.
Okay. I will.
Have you ever encountered this type of beast before, I would ask?
I am aware of Rancors, but I have never met one face to face because I'm still alive.
Fair.
So as he tries to circle me, I will circle him,
Okay.
them, and we'll just do a little dance. I'll kind of wave my lightsaber at him menacingly.
You wave, and one thing you notice is he is almost moving quadrupedally, like on its knuckles, like you would see like a anteater walk, where it's walking on its knuckles to like protect its massive claws. And when you wave, it stands up on two legs and kind of looms. But it doesn't attack. It seems to be you get the impression that it's trying to move you, like herd you in a direction.
I want to read a sitch to see if I can figure out where he's trying to get me. Oh, that is a 10.
Okay. You recognize like this is moving like a prey animal or like a predator animal. And as you are kind of being negotiated around, as you move, as you said, you are moving in tandem. That's the moment you realize this thing's moving me like a pack animal. And that's when you hear the crunching of the wood behind you as it's splintered and another Rancor, a much smaller one, comes bolting out of the woods from behind you.
I want to not be between them.
Okay, well, tell me how you're going to do that.
I want to do a little kind of force leap. Is that it's not a guardian move, but I'm assuming it's something I can just do with my force powers.
Tell me how you're going to do it. Just tell me how you're going to use your force powers to pull that off.
I just want to move backwards as fast as I can, basically. Just kind of shoot myself back.
Perhaps you remember the one time in the Phantom Menace when they used their Jedi speed to run away very fast.
I'm trying to remember. So you're a guardian, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at if you have an ability that might allow for that. Because if you're just wanting to move, that's fine. You just can move.
Okay.
Do you have Jedi reflexes?
I do have Jedi reflexes, so the Force does warn me of incoming danger, but I don't know how well the Force is working at the moment.
You know what? I'll let you use Jedi reflexes if you want. Why don't you? Well, you rolled a 10, so let's just say you have you at the last second you feel the sound of the wood behind you, like the tone and timber drop like out, and then this thing comes rushing out. So you almost just like Matador style sidestep it very quickly, and it kind of moves to one side, and the big one starts to continue to circle you. So now you have a smaller one that like ran by you.
As the small one runs by me, can I like swipe out to try to injure a leg?
Yes, you may.
All right.
What happened to don't get involved, man?
Are you standing your ground to do that? Or are you moving to do that? What are you doing? Like, kind of paint me a picture. Tell me a story.
As I'm moving out of the way and it's moving past me, I want to swipe out at it. I'm assuming I'm rolling hard here.
Yeah. So you're like gonna move and then plant and then swing. Okay, perfect.
So that's an 8.
An 8. You get a decent slash across its thigh of this child Rancor. Nice. And you give it a good hard whack. And you can see like you cutting into that hard flesh, into the muscle. But that's great. But you, because of your action, you put yourself in a position where the other small one comes barreling out and stomps you into the ground.
Oh, good.
So you're going to take 1 harm for that.
Okay.
Or whatever it's called in this game. You're going to take a wound. As it just barrels into you. It doesn't try to hold you down. It doesn't like it's almost like getting batted by a cat that isn't sure what to do with the mouse. And you go flying and you crack into one of the logs that's broken, and you are definitely had the wind knocked out of you. Think you might be injured, and you notice that they're still circling. They're not straight up just rushing you. The one it's hurt has kind of backed itself back into the wood line a little bit, almost using its size to move between the trees. The other 2 are moving in a way like they're trying to push you in a direction. Still not roaring, you can watch as you're kind of seeing this and you're kind of clearing the haze from your eyes. The smaller one seems to be emulating the bigger one.
How sturdy are the trees?
Like I said before, they're remarkably sturdy, but they're very light. They're almost spongy, like a fungus, but they're very sturdy.
Like if I tried to climb a tree
Could you? Yeah, of course.
and then maybe like run across the top of the trees.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Yes, you can definitely try that out.
All right. Am I rolling attuned for that?
Why don't you make me a cool?
All right.
These things are not going to just stand still as soon as you start to move.
Ooh. That is a 10.
All right. You like slowly rise to your feet with your back against this trunk that's been felled. And you can see them again. They're on their knuckles. They're kind of moving with that step where they're turned a little bit towards the side, watching you. You stand up all the way. You hear the one that you injured coming up from behind you. You jump straight backwards. You land on the stump. You jump straight up, use its face as a place to plant your feet, and then kick off onto the treetop. And they all just kind of stop and look up at you, go back on their knuckles, and are just watching to see where you go. And that's where we'll move to RANCOR, walking the long road. You've been walking for some time, days. You had heard from another constable of a Neogri outpost far out into the wilderness, into the Sonoris Wood, the Tolston outpost. You'd heard stories that occasionally they run into issues, and you'd heard that of late that rumors had been going around that the Get of the Mother had returned to this area and had made a few probing attacks towards it. And you know that the Mother is one of the 7 Rakatans who still live on this world. And they are known as a cannibal and pretty much insane. And the Get of the Mother are people of civilized races who have just thrown off the shackles of civility and decided to follow the Mother, and they are degenerate monsters, basically. They are the Hills Have Eyes of Star Wars. And they generally move like a group of wild dogs throughout this continent and others, seemingly with no rhyme or reason, attacking smaller outposts. They never have gotten so bold to attack like a city, I can't remember the name of your city that you're at. Someone could help me out. A great appreciation.
Yeah, don't worry about that. I told Colin I could tell him anything he needs to know about this game, and then he goes, "What's the name of the planet we're on?"
Yeah,
Yeah. You're on the planet.
Well, actually, whoopsies.
Yeah. Shugo, I can't remember where you're at though. What the major place was you were at? I can't believe I can't remember that.
Cheers.
No,
Everybody knows your name.
Zelkath, is that? What's that?
Zelkath Station. That's for some reason sounds maybe.
I don't know. I have that written down. No context. But it's at the top near the planet name. So.
Now I got it. Now it's just going to bother me.
Plugo Station.
Plugo Station. Yes, Plugo Station. Mike Plugo Station. So
when I was a kid, my parents were really cheap and they didn't buy me Lego. They bought me Plugos.
It says more about them than it does me.
It's true. It's true.
So they've never attacked something as big as Plugo Station, but that's also one of the reasons that like places like Tolston Outpost exist, is because the Nogri are very much diligent in their defense, even when there's been very little to defend in a very long time. So you heard tell of this happening. You made your way towards Tolston Outpost on foot. And as you come over the horizon and you know that this is near the Sonorous Wood, you see the outpost. You see, what was it? 3 vehicles parked outside the outpost. And you notice that the outpost is in real bad shape, and some of it's still leaking smoke, and that there's a barricade in front of the outpost proper made out of junk. This place looks like it's been hit hard. As you make your way slowly and carefully down the road, you hear the songs of the Sonorous Wood, which, as you would know, these are woods that like have the trees have like all these holes in them, so it almost sings when the wind blows through it. The tone and timbre of what's coming out of the wood all of a sudden is going from this nice, beautiful song to occasionally this loud racket, which, as someone who's lived on this planet their whole life, you realize is, generally speaking, there's something breaking the wood inside the woods. Something is smashing. It's kind of the wood's way of telling you that, like, it's kind of the wood's way of telling you that there's something coming, or there's something dangerous with them, because the wood's hard to break. What would you like to do? Colin? You're still
Please
muted.
spaced.
No, you're okay. I was just like, are you okay?
Yeah.
I had to look down at my hand. I was like, is it me?
No, I got caught up reading stuff, and then I totally missed out that it was my turn. Okay. Let me see. I guess I'll get on all fours like a good Nogri boy and head off towards that sound of those trees.
You're gonna head into the wood, or you're gonna pass on the outpost and go right into the wood?
Yeah.
Perfect. You start cruising speed into those woods. And as you move through them, you kind of smell something, and you look and you see what you know is a Zeltron, but you see a human. Actually, see 2 humans, which you've never seen before, because you're not aware that humans are a thing. They look like Zeltrons, but don't look not as nice or as good as Zeltrons do to other humanoids. You're like, I can take or leave them. And so you see 2 of these and a Zeltron. One of the humans is wearing robes. One is just dressed in what looks like the kind of clothes humans wear, you're assuming. And the Zeltron is also in robes and carrying a sword, which to you is like, that's unheard of, because Zeltrons are usually kind of pacifistic. They're good time boys and girls and non-binary folk. But this person's bald, their head shaved, and is carrying a weapon. And they seem to be sneaking through the wood.
I say, I put my hand on the hilt of my Vibrasword and kind of standing up to full height.
Do you have anything that increases your sense range?
I do not. Oh. Wait, from my sense range?
I'm seeing if Duo can know see if you're there.
I don't think. I don't think I really have any of that, because I'm a consular, so most of mine is like empathy, force sense. Well, I have force senses, but that's only when I have a force hold. So
Okay.
I don't think that I would. And Nogri are like infamously hard to read for Jedi. So I would say that even
I would say
to that.
this is going to be a little bit different because it's not a Nogri that's been like indoctrinated
like
into
trained?
service. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little clumsy.
Well, it's not even that. It's just a different. You're Nogri, but you're like a different. If you're looking at the species, it's almost split because it's thousands of years since that. I look at your Nogri as being more of a front forward, like it's been your people have been in the role of constabulary and military. The Nogri in the regular galaxy have been like trained as assassins. Don't be seen, don't be heard, kill and get out. That's not what you're built for. You're your Nogri are like a honey badger. Those Nogris are like an asp.
Yeah. So I mean, I have +3 attuned. So like, I think if I'm, I don't know that, like given our situation, like we were going in, but we were looking for Breeb. I don't know that I would necessarily be.
I'll tell you
kind
what.
of reaching out for that.
I'll let you roll at a -2.
Okay. Should I?
So
Do
just
you want me to just roll
then
2d6, or do you want me to add anything, or just roll?
Roll 2d6. Add your. I think it would be attuned.
Attuned. Okay.
And then take 2 off of that, since you're like not really expecting it.
All right, we're starting off hot. I rolled a 12. I'll take 2 off to make it a 10, and I have a +3 for attuned.
So as you guys are kind of moving forward, I'm assuming you don't have your lightsaber drawn.
I do not. No, I mean, like we're trying to move stealthy, I'd assume, to find Breeb. So no.
Felicia has her blaster pistol out, and as I said,
damn Felicia.
Felicia. Venz has her sword out.
Yeah.
But you like stop and they keep moving and you're like, that there's someone behind you.
Okay.
You're not sure if it's the Get. You're not sure if it's maybe Nando. But someone's coming up behind you guys.
I'll reach under my cloak and ready my saber in case something attacks, but I'm going to let them know that we're being watched.
Okay. What are you going to do, RANCOR? Are you going to keep making your way up stealthy, or are you going to basically?
Stealth's not really my game. I'm kind of just like high jumping through the underbrush. And as soon as I see them, I want to be like, halt! Who's causing this commotion in the forest?
Felicia turns around and she's like, oh shit, it's the fuzz.
That's what we're going to find out. Who are you?
Who am I? RANCOR, son of Jethamil, father of none, last of my clan, out on the long walk. Pray tell, who be ye?
This has some big Magic Tavern vibes going on right now. Which, if you've ever listened to that podcast, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'll ask again. What does that mean?
I'm RANCOR.
And she's like, it's a thing that the Nogri do. They tell you their name, then they tell you their dad's name, and then they tell you if they're the dad of a dad or something. I don't know. I don't listen very well.
So I go through the spiel again, and I say, that is who I am. Identify yourselves, please.
If you'd like to find out who's making this noise, that's where we're on our way to investigate.
Venz kind of watches all this go on. This is the Zeltron RANCOR. She steps forward and gives you what you're assuming is some type of recognition that you're an authority figure.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just kind of says, we're on a mission for my master, the duelist. And you recognize the duelist really quick. That's another Rakatan. One is shipwrecked, the other is a newcomer to Shugo. He is Jedi, which means nothing to you.
What is Jedi?
She thinks about it. She says, monk.
A man of peace?
A man of peace.
I am a peacekeeper.
I am in his charge by will of my master. We seek the hunter. We seek the mother. We are going to kill her.
Battle. I shall join.
She slowly nods her head. She almost gives you like she's trying to do like what Nogri culture would do in these situations. Like she's trying to mimic, like she knows what Nogri culture is. So she's attempting to kind of mimic a little bit of that, like in a respectful way. Like if I'm trying to show you that I know who you are, what you stand for.
I see this and I respond in the same gesture and kind, maybe performing it a little more elegantly, and say, how may I be of service?
She looks directly at you, Duo, like you're in charge. Like I'm just basically I'm the one who's building the bridge. You're the one who's got to tell us to go over it.
If you are more familiar with this wood than we are, please lead on and we will support you. We're trying to find our friend and we believe that noise is directly connected to his safety.
Well, to be honest, if I take one step further, it'll be the farthest place I've ever gone from home before in my life. So I'll take that step and follow your lead.
All right, I'm just gonna like, okay, we're back at it.
The police just like up beside you, and she's like, "Do you see why sometimes I want to go home?"
Yes.
She's good. You see her like continually checking her blaster. Like you get a read on her, Duo, that she has not used this thing in an actual fight in years.
And
probably longer than when the Ryan, 7 or 8 years since you guys crashed. Remind me, is it 8?
I think it's 8.
Yeah,
8 sounds right.
8 is great.
I'm gonna write
8 is enough.
Yeah. If only you'd named your ship the Dick Van Patten.
I mean, we haven't named it.
Oh yeah, you did the Brazier.
Oh, it is the Brazier. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, unofficially.
Because the Dick Van Patten is a fucking Star Trek ass name, but it's a good Star Trek ass name.
Well, Dick Van Patten was in Spaceballs also. So.
Oh, he was. Maybe we need to play Lasers and Feelings one night, and the ship will be just called the USS Dick Van Patten.
Dick Van Patten. We never named the captain.
Oh, that's true. All right, back.
R.I.P. Dick Van Patten.
Back to the station or to the outpost, excuse me. You're in there with Nub Rebbins, and you can hear some noise outside at the loosely thrown together barricade.
What kind of noise?
Like someone's messing with it.
They're
not quiet about it.
Like, Nub, you hear that, right? The messing with what's happening at the entry.
I hear something and I taste color because of the illicit substances you will let me take to ease my discomfort, and it has worked remarkably.
I'm not going to ask you any more questions. I'm going to go see.
I thought we had got beyond that, and now we're buddies.
No, we're buddies. We're totally buddies.
Truth, I was now saying that yes, you are Captain.
No, I know. We're good. We're good. We're so good. We're Gucci, whatever Gucci is.
Gucci is now a race in Star Wars that knows like everything's good. Like
it's a hut, probably.
Gucci the hut.
I'm gonna go.
He's like a mellow hut. He's like that hut. What was the hut we named that like everyone liked?
Pizza.
No, it wasn't Pizza Hut. We had a hut. Maybe it was. Oh no, that was in Matt Lynn's Caribbean Queen Star Wars Adventure. We named a hut who was like the good hut.
No, you named him. He was in the last episode, and he's the one that like does not advocate slavery. And
he's
and I can't remember.
Hut's the hut or something like that.
Yeah.
God damn it! Now I gotta know. What his name is. It's gonna bother me.
Did you say Lionel?
Was it Lionel the Hut? Well, Lionel the Hut's pretty great too. Word up, Lionel. Keep talking. I'm just gonna find this thing because it's gonna bug me.
Yeah, so just like, no, it's cool. Like, I'm gonna go see what is going on over there. You don't go anywhere, because you're.
How
So
about we agree that that we go together? I'm feeling much better right now.
I don't think you should move.
I think, and he gets up and he's like, and his leg just buckles and he falls
Isn't
down.
he like fully impaled? Like,
Yeah, he's been impaled in the leg, but you got him real wasted.
Yeah,
He's a wasted rock ranger. He's living a life of danger.
It's cool. Like, I'm a people person. I'm gonna go up the door and just be like, "What's going on, guys? Like, we're trying to have a moment in here, a little reconnection, a little reunion vibe. So maybe keep it down out there." I'll be right back. And yeah, he'll go to the barricade and be like, "Hello."
Are you going like all the way to the barricade?
And he's going like, how far is it? It's not that far.
No, it's like a courtyard. You can see people wrapped in like scraps of clothing, wielding bone weapons, trying to pry the barricade apart. It's
people trying to get
that these are
to get into it, or are the people with the bone
trying to get in?
Yeah, I mean,
it's pretty obvious this is the get.
Yeah, no, he'll like go over, and because like no one else is around, right? Like, everyone else is dead or poop, so like, or both. So like he'll kind of go over and be like, hey.
They immediately try to stab through the barricade at you. They're like snarling and growling.
Like, no, wow. Like, not
these people. You're looking at these
slick
folks,
first impression.
and these are obvious like Zeltrons and gosh, my brain is real bad today. I'm really sorry. I keep forgetting like everything I've ever said in a game. Kumomaga, they are Cellcaths. They're the assorted races on this planet, but they're completely feral.
Like, just like, I need you to chill out. There's nothing in here. There's nobody in here.
One of them stops and licks his lip, and like his lips like moves the saliva off his face, and he says, "Meat," and points right at you. And the Kumogawa start to try to climb over the barricade to get to you.
Nando is like, fine, and he'll like.
At this moment, Nando has to realize that these people plan on eating him.
Yeah, no, he gets it. He's like, is there like a big pole or a stick around?
Yeah, you know what? There's a pole around.
Yeah, so like as they climb, he's just gonna be like, boop, nope.
All right, yeah. Why don't you make me? That's like the most mellow combat ever. Why don't you make me a cool? You're just kind of like,
sure.
Bink.
I can do that. Pretty cool. Just like a 10.
Yeah, you're just knocking these guys down left and right. You can hear them getting more and more like incensed as they're on the other side, trying to figure a way out because the outer ring wall is too tall. So they've just got to go through this gate area.
Yeah, he's like, you guys, you gotta stop. My meat is just getting stringier, and my delicious fat is burning off as I poke you off this gate. Stop. Just go away. Go away.
By the way, it's Olm, the One-Eyed Hut. He's a local liquor distributor, destined abolitionist. He lost his eye in a Kowakan monkey lizard handling incident, and he's known as the Nice Hut. No one outdices Olm the Hut.
Incredible. That's incredible.
So
I mean, he's like, just chill out. There's nothing here. There's nothing here.
They're like losing their shit. And like you start to realize it's getting louder as like there's more of them. Like they just seem to be like it went from like a couple just like testing things out to now there's at least 10 or 12.
Okay, Nando's gonna be like, you guys are bad listeners, and he is going to wander down. He'll scoot back over to Nub and be like, hey,
Nub's inside.
Yeah, he's going to go back
Back
to
inside.
them and be like, so we're going to go. Which is not ideal, I realize, but you know, it's less ideal than
Where are we going?
The other way.
We're
Right?
inside
Just
of
it's an adventure, buddy.
We're
Just like
inside
old
of a
times.
tower inside of a courtyard. It's like a circular wall. I'm not sure where we're gonna go. Are we gonna go upstairs? Because like I tried to stand a little bit ago and it did not go well.
I think that I mean maybe upstairs. Is that the gate where everyone else left through, or is there cool?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like what?
He's gonna be like, okay, yeah, I think
Because earlier I blockaded the door, but then I got stabbed in the leg with a spear.
yeah, that was a bummer. There's like a lot of feral, hungry.
Earlier I counted at least 65.
Great, thank you for counting.
And then also I saw the mother. At least I think that's what the mother looked like. It's just what one of the Nogri said right before he got a spear in the neck.
Wait, the mother, like?
Oh yeah, that's the mother's in the area. That's who took our friend. That's that like I said, that's who grabbed Bragg. The mother, I guess, is gonna eat him. Like they just came to eat all of us. I don't know why they left me behind.
Yeah,
Maybe
they're
they
like super.
They thought I was dead. Maybe I don't know, or maybe they've never seen they've never seen a Boston before.
They probably haven't. Maybe they don't know your food. They looked like they wanted to eat me.
Well, I mean, look at you.
Well, I mean, look, I'm not saying it's in bad taste. I'm just saying the timing is poor.
It's real bad.
It's real bad timing.
Well, we could blockade the door and move upstairs.
Yeah, I think we should do that. It feels.
He looks at you with the saddest mouth and eyes and says, Nando, will you carry me up the stairs?
Yeah, of course I will. Do you want me to bride carry you, or do you want me to piggyback you?
Bride?
Done. Yeah, so he fully like barricades the door. You know.
He's humming a song the whole time.
Perfect.
You get up to the top of the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's like 2 more levels. And he asks, you set him down for a second because he's not light. He's a pretty rotund little Bothan.
Sure.
And he kind of says, well, you're the captain and I've agreed to follow your orders. But as the engineer, I would say that we probably should do as much damage to those stairs as possible.
Didn't know. I was just thinking that. Like,
yeah, see, we're simpatico. Just thinking on the same stream.
Totally simpatico. Remember that time we went to the planet Simpatico? That was fun. That was a good day.
That was a good place. The planet was awesome. The station was terrible.
The station was terrible. Real bad vibes.
My fur got so matted from the humidity.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it was terrible.
Yeah, but I mean, you hear
the barricade at the front break. So we should probably figure those stairs out.
Yeah. So what's around? What can I fuck upstairs with? It's here.
I don't know. There's stone stairs. Do you have something to break stone with?
No. What?
And we should keep going up, I guess. I don't know.
Is there like anything?
You're the captain, remember?
I'm asking you as the GM. Like, is there anything in the room?
Oh, there's a bunch of like furniture and stuff. I mean,
yeah, he'll throw a bunch of furniture down the stairs.
Okay, I mean they're gonna.
I've gotten out of battles with armors before. This is old territory.
It's true. They haven't got through the gate, the front of the tower yet, but they're working on it.
Great. Yeah, he's gonna chuck like all of the furniture he can down the stairs.
Nub goes, do you happen to have like, I don't know, like a weapon or something, like maybe like a gun?
I have a gun.
So maybe we should like set it at the top of the stairs, and you could shoot them as they come in. How come you didn't shoot them when you were outside?
Because there's like a lot of them.
Oh,
like
But
Like-
but like you have a blaster pistol,
right?
so it's not like you're gonna run out of bullets.
Yeah, I was like trying to not.
These
Like-
guys are terrible. They're
How is
cannibals.
it trying to venture into murder, dude? Like, I don't
This
know.
is not
Sorry, man.
murder. These guys are cannibals. If
Yeah.
you let me give me your gun, I'll shoot him. I have no compunctions about killing these guys.
Well, no, I mean they were like out there. It would have been like shooting
That's true.
fish in a barrel. Like it just there's no.
Well, yeah,
there's-
making killing them easier would be too easy.
It's about the sport.
I
heard someone say that once. I'm not really serious. I don't care.
He
I
just sighs, and then he's like, I feel like I've seen the future, and
it's like this is why I drive
and it's
into
nuts on a
engine.
spigot, on a
Like-
spit.
So he's like, okay, cool. So like, there's already I'm not going to take the furniture out of the stairs, but yeah, sure. If they start crawling over the furniture, I'll camp out here, and then I'll like shoot them and stuff. Is there anything cool like upstairs? Is there anything good? Have you been upstairs?
I've not been upstairs. I was just looking for our friend, and then we were gonna go move on. We were gonna head to where our other friend was, so we could potentially go meet this other Rakatan guy who's apparently got all kinds of stuff, like stuff for his ship.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this ricotta thing. It's fucked up.
Well, apparently this guy is like a librarian.
Yeah, they all have like dorky names like that. They're all like the librarian.
Yeah, I don't get it, but if there was only like 7 of me left, I would hope that we'd have cool monikers.
I mean, I guess there's nothing, and it seems like they live for a really long time. So I guess they have nothing better to do than like make fun people not fun anymore.
They're scary.
Okay. Why don't we do this? He like hands his blaster over. He's like, hey, all right, you hold on to this. I'm gonna run upstairs real quick, just see if there's anything useful up there, and I'll be back down. If something comes up, shoot it. If something comes down, that's me. Do not shoot me.
I think I can handle that.
Okay. I trust you.
You head up the stairs and you immediately hear a shot. Just testing.
Doing great. You're doing great.
Excellent.
So glad we reconnected.
I know, right? It's good to
Yeah.
see you.
It was great. It's great. Oh, I can hear you going up the stairs. This sounds good.
You go upstairs and this is like almost like a barracks.
Okay.
And it's a lot of melee weapons that are very, very, very finely kept. Like these guys must polish their swords on a daily basis.
I bet they do.
You do see a locker
Mhm.
that has ranged weapons in it, but the weapons that are in it, there's only 2, and they look like they've been smashed up. This looks like it's been ransacked
Mm.
by troops to grab things in a hurry, and then smashed a little bit by bad dudes,
Bad dudes.
but like in a hurry.
To kidnap the president.
These bad dudes did kidnap the president.
Okay. Nando is gonna be like, is there one more floor? Or
Yes.
he'll see what's there really quick.
It looks like it's a command center.
Okay.
And if you had power to the outpost, you feel like it could give you a better overview. Like there's a literal like holographic command center in the middle.
Cool. Is it? I don't know how to use that. Does it work?
If
Is
you
there
had power, you think it would.
Oh, like the station doesn't have power?
The outpost currently has no power.
Can I tell? I'll go down. I'll be like, that's a nub question. And I will
That is a nut question.
go back downstairs. I'll grab a hand weapon or two, one, because I'm not like a dual. I don't know how to do that. I'll grab like a sword or something, whatever. I don't know what is it. What are the options? What do you got?
They're generally short, very nasty looking knives. But you do see what would be the equivalent of like a short sword, and they're made out of a metal you've never seen before.
Cool. I'll grab a few of the knives then and go back downstairs, and they'd be like, nub. There is a whole ass control center up there, but there's no power.
Oh,
there's no power.
I think the conduit got wrecked, but if we get a chance to go outside, I can probably rewire it. Everything here, in all honesty, Nando, is pretty simple compared to our technology. It's pretty much like super straightforward, very like almost like Corellianly engineered. He goes on for like 5 minutes on engineering, explaining to you like how like it's not as sophisticated, it's very plug and play, and you're just like and that's when you hear the front door of the building getting smashed in finally.
Cool. How far away is the conduit? No.
Oh, the conduit's out there where those guys came from.
No, I know, but like, how far is it from the building?
Like, if I went out, like right next to the building.
And what would I do to the conduit?
Oh, what would you do to it? You probably just like look at it and go, "Oh, look at the conduit." And then you'd go, "Hey, Nub, can you come fix this conduit?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, Captain, I can come fix that conduit."
I missed you so much.
I'm just saying, you're not an engineer.
Okay, I know I'm not an engineer. I know we've been down this road. We were familiar with
your
it.
Strength, and then he just starts shooting downstairs at guys.
Shit. Okay. Well, if we
have a comm link, you would have.
Do we have a comm link?
Yeah. I think all of you have a comm link.
Okay.
A Kamala link.
Wow. Timely.
Hey, you're about to go walls to the wall.
Is it a clam?
Yeah. Well, Nando will be like.
So he pulls out his comm link, and you can see these guys who are flooding into this room trying to figure out a way to pull the stuff down without getting shot.
Keep shooting.
So if you go outside, it's on the back side of the building, and then if you ring me up on the comm link, then I can probably walk through. I want you first to scan it and then start telling me, and I can start telling you what to do. Oh, and you'll need this. And he hands you his spanner. Don't lose it. I only have that one now. The rest of them are broken, or I threw them into the water.
I will try.
Very angry.
I'll try not to lose this. Like,
it's very important
piece of heavy metal. But
it's not a huge piece of metal. It's actually like it almost looks like it's like almost like a socket wrench.
Okay.
And it's got like an orb on it, and you can just push buttons and different settings come up for the different jobs you need to do. It's like an Omni tool.
Okay, I won't lose it.
Cool.
Even though we've established I don't know what I'm doing.
Captain, I feel so manly right now. Like this is maybe the manliest I've ever felt.
Cue it up. Keep juicing that man juice, and I'll
he looks like, what? I don't understand this. Is that like a human thing? Because I'm not familiar with
it. Yeah, it's a human thing. We do. There's a lot of juice.
Like he's actually dropping some of these dudes.
Yeah. Daniel's like, okay, cool. Like, I'll try that. Sure. Yeah.
So are you gonna like go out the window? Because like that's like a 2-story fall.
Well, I feel like
all of those guys are outside. I mean, they're all trying to get into here so I can shoot them to death, but they're like, and that's when like a spear comes flying into the furniture. You're like, Jesus Christ! I don't know who that is, but oh God, I don't know who that is either.
This is bad too. I don't know.
These are names. Space names.
He will. Yeah, Nando's like, I mean, I think I gotta dry the window, right? Like he'll like look out the window. Is there like a flood of terrible people out there or what?
You look out the backside window, and no, it doesn't look. It looks like these guys aren't smart enough to like surround the building. They're just like
Okay.
trying to all mash through the front to
All right.
get to where you are.
Good news. It looks like these guys are dumber than me. I'm gonna go out the back window.
You're not dumb.
No.
Misinformed.
It's okay. You're an engineer and you have a big.
You're
brain.
misinformed and uneducated. You can get smarter. Those guys are cannibals.
And
I probably have brain worms.
You just can't fix that. So yeah, he'll. Does it open, or do I have to like kick it
open? It's like blast shielded, so you could like just push the button and it goes. Psh.
Yeah, he'll do that.
Okay. Psh.
Psh. Like a.
Oh God, I did it so well you
like,
froze.
I
made the noise so well you were like.
He's just like I like that noise. He just like pushes it a few times just because he likes the noise.
And you hear Nub all of a sudden go.
Okay.
What are we doing with our lives? People are like, "Is this Star Wars? What the fuck?"
This is like last time where you're like, "Okay, guys, I just, I'm having a night. Let's just find a stopping point." And then like 40 minutes later, it was like 30 minutes of nub rubbins. And it was the best Star Wars, the greatest Star Wars of all time.
I just like Shaggy's comment. So you're playing captain is to give a blaster to an intoxicated person.
Well, I'm not going to have the intoxicated person jump out the window. So, yeah. So Dan will be like, "I'll be right back."
So you look out the window, and while it's the light is dimming because the suns are setting, you don't see anything. So you're taking a 2-story jump. Are you doing anything? Do you have like some force stuff you want to do? Or
I don't think I have any force. I don't have any force powers I know how to use.
You might have something. So as you look to jump down, we go back to Breeb. Breeb, like these things now look like, and just as we just said, the suns are setting. So you're like up a tree, and they kind of seem like they're not sure if they're just going to knock this tree down, or one of the little ones kind of tries to like climb up it, and it's too heavy, and it just slides down, ripping the bark off of it. And it
I'm
makes
full
like
on crouching tiger, hidden
noise.
Jedi-ing, like running across.
Okay, well then you are going to need to make me another roll, son.
That's fine. Yeah, I want to. As I'm running, I want to scan for the tower and run toward that.
Okay. You're gonna have to make a little bit of a circle out of this clearing to get there. But you can make me a cool check.
All right, I rolled an 8. Cool is +1, so that's a 9.
Okay. As you're going, like once you start to move, like picking up speed, you get to one, and you said you rolled a 9. The big one cracks the tree that you're on, and you can't make the next jump, and you kind of tumble into a small area. No trees in this little area. It's probably like 10 by 15 in like a circle, which doesn't make any sense, does it? A circle, yeah, it'd be like an oval. Okay. You land, and you look around you, and like it's moss around you. You're in like a little bit of these spotty ground spots. The moss looks really soft. Like what you're catching as the light is dying is it looks like the moss might be covering like a liquid. Like this might be like quicksand. The Rancors come to the edge of where this is, and they just stop. They like sniff the ground, and they just stop. And they kind of eventually fade just to the tree line so they can see you. But they don't come into this little area.
Am I sinking?
No, you're on ground, but this ground feels very, very spongy. And the ground around you, like I said, it almost looks like it's swaying a little bit. While you figure that out, Duo and Araco, Rakor. I'm sorry, I didn't even call you Racco. That's an X-Men thing. Rakor, you and Duo and Vens and Felicia are making your way, and it's getting dark. Vens looks at you, Duo, and is like, how should we proceed?
What can we? I mean, we've been tracking this sound for a while.
It's hard to track though because the woods are just constantly
Yeah.
singing, and you're wearing earplugs.
I think that
Which Rakor you do not need.
I think that I'd like to reach out with the Force. I'd like to trust my instincts to see kind of like whether I feel like we're getting closer to Breeb. So I'm just going to make a roll. Bleep, bloop. Ugh. 7.
So you reach out and like you're reaching out for like that light that is Breeb. And what draws your attention is over the horizon past the outpost is just this black hole of like every bit of force is just being eaten by this this hole in the force. And you know it's a Rakatan. You can feel that from but you know it's not the duelist, so you have a good idea what you think it is. And again, you kind of look with the force and you see that Vens is glowing, but just not the same color as you would expect.
I think,
but it's just like this thing is just pulling every bit of the force towards it.
Okay. I think that Duo would ask Ericor if he felt like he could track in these woods to the kind of sound, because I noticed that he's not wearing what we're wearing, and I'm saying that this is.
So I'm saying in canon that the Nograi have, since they have to deal with the sonorous wood, that they all basically have spent. It's almost like a genetic thing where they can deal with this. That it doesn't bother their hearing at all.
Okay.
They can almost cut through it.
So I mean, the three of us are affected by it. Obviously, we're turned around, and so I'm going to turn around and say, I've led us this far on my instincts to find my colleague, but I can't make heads or tails of this. Is this, can you pick up on anything that besides the sound of the wood? Because I'm turned around and we need to find this guy.
Let me see. What should I roll for this?
You might have an ability as a bounty hunter that'll let you. No, it doesn't look like you do.
No, should I do attuned since it's like trust your instincts?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, 12.
Yeah, you like take an object from Duo that is from Breeb. You kind of look at it and you're kind of just scanning around. You get a feel. Yeah, it's good. You get a good smell, good taste for them. And you start to make your way deeper into the wood. As you guys are going, Vens puts her hand on your shoulder, Duo, and she stops you and says, "Were you trying to use the Force?" You're muted. Are you muted by the Force?
There's a great absence, and it's interfering with my ability to communicate with the Force. Me being muted.
I have felt it as well. Perhaps if we both work to amplify together.
Yeah.
Something to contemplate. And she follows in behind Arakor. Arakor, you're able to move through these woods pretty easily.
Mhm.
You immediately kind of hit the trail of where Breeb came through. You can smell him.
Yeah, and I'm running on all fours too. So like a
Hard
little
for them to
dog.
keep up. Like Felicia's just like huffing and puffing. She's just like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
I look behind and I'm like, this way?
He better be okay. You're not Australian. Yeah, you're not doing that. Sorry.
Come on.
No.
This way.
No. What you had going was perfect.
This way.
Um,
This way? What was I doing? What was I
you're
doing?
kind of a gravelly, older, like hardened voice.
Yeah, this way.
Yes, very good. They follow you, and you come to a clearing, and you stop because you see Breeb, what you think is Breeb. You see a type of being you've never seen before, and it makes sense that he's with these guys who you haven't seen them before. And you see the moss of loss all in this area.
We need to tread carefully.
And you can smell, you can't quite see them, you can smell those rancors in the woods on the other side.
Rancor.
You can smell like the blood and the meat and the decay and, you know, coming off of them. To Rancor, yes. Felicia's like, what the fuck is the moss of loss? What you're able to tell them is this is a particular kind of fungus that looks like plant life. It is carnivorous, and it is something that if you step in, it releases a spore cloud that makes you relaxed and euphoric, and you lay down in the moss and it slowly devours you.
Yeah, I relay all that.
The thing that you've also know, is this something that your people occasionally will commune with? Because when it eats someone, it eats their memories and everything else. So they stay there. So you've been able to talk to your people will sometimes commune with it, like make offerings to talk to elders and things that have passed into the moss, or even just anyone that's passed into the moss. So it's like a predator. It's like a non-moving predator that you can basically negotiate with in a way. So you're like, oh yeah, I know what this is. My people know what this is.
Yeah.
You have a fancy ass no green name for it, but I don't. I'll let you make that up at a later time. So Breeb, you're like looking around and you're like, well, I don't want to step on that. I don't think I can't go back the way I came. I'm in a little bit of a clearing, and that's when you hear a rustling behind you, and you turn around and you see a Nogri, and then a few moments later, you see Duo, Benz, and Felicia push their way through the wood, and they're standing on the other side of this.
Oh, good, you're here. I found some Rancor. I'm in trouble.
Felicia says, don't step on that shit. The little guy told us that if you do, you're...
Oh, it's a good thing I landed right here in this very safe space.
It is. It is. And then it starts to move.
The ground is moving?
And you notice that the little bit of moss, slowly but surely, it's crawling on all sides up this. You kind of figure that this stuff eroded the ground underneath you.
What happens if I slash at it with my lightsaber?
Why don't we find out?
All right.
Why do we find out? Are you going to do anything, Arakor?
well, shit, I wouldn't know what a lightsaber was, would I?
It looks like a sword made out of light.
Okay.
It's kinda like a Bible
No,
blade.
no, don't. Do you have any food?
I mean, I always have food.
Give it food. Throw food to it.
All right, I'm gonna drop my snacks.
What kind of snacks?
Sort of like jerky or something that's gonna last.
Okay, you throw some jerky out on it. You watch as the moss kind of comes up, and you see this little poof and these little particulates in the air that kind of slowly fade back down, and then it slowly just kind of pulls the meat under. Doesn't stop on the ground.
How
It doesn't stop what's going on the ground. This stuff is slowly creeping up.
how would I commune with it?
You would need to bring it something preferably living or recently dead, and
Okay.
you would need to kind of beckon it to answer.
Can I do a quick trust your instincts roll, I guess, to see if I can find like I can sense like some animal in the brush
Yes.
other than the rancors. Fudge. Ooh, 7.
You do sense something. You sense another Nograi who is on its last breaths. It's dying from the battle before with the Get. Hasn't been found by the Rancors yet. It's just kind of bleeding out in the wood. Like eyes are open, breathing quick and shallow. Like you guys almost would have walked right past it. But they are definitely dying. Like there's, especially without Bacta, there's absolutely no way you could save them.
I rush over and try to engage it in conversation. Like, is it a male, female?
Female. It's definitely a military member who you can tell by the markings was at the outpost.
Mm-hmm.
They're barely responsive. Like you could tell they're dying. They're like seeing the white light type of thing.
I say I go to them as quickly as I can, as nimbly as I can, and say, sister, can you sacrifice yourself for our cause?
And they look at you and their eyes are starting to turn almost white. And they're like, for the tribes.
You will have a place of honor at the Duca. And I pick her up as gently.
They slide their blade out from their sheath and push it towards you.
Okay. I gently close their eyes with one hand and
Teve, daughter of Kit, mother of Mir.
Mir will hear of your sacrifice. And I, with one hand, close her eyes, and with the other hand, in the same motion, slit her throat and heave her onto the moss.
The moss, like it basically sedates you. Like you're forked. You don't fight back because you're just like, fuck yeah.
Oh, never. Okay, never mind.
It's like a peaceful death.
Then we'll rewind that, and I'll just be like, to the moss you go, sister.
You slip her in. You sit on your knees, and as you slip her in, and the poof comes out, and so you take in the spores, and you start to basically hallucinate.
Okay.
And your hallucination, the moss stands up, and it kind of just keeps changing shape and changing shape and changing shape until it takes the shape of a Nogri. You seek communion.
Yes, communion.
You who have fed us, what would you ask?
May we pass in peace, and may I offer 2 great sacrifices over yonder in the wood, Rancor.
The Rancor drive food to us. They are a difficult meal.
Would it be possible for you to put them at ease at least, so they do not sense us in our goings?
What you ask is beyond our ability. Ask your other boon. Arakor, son of Jethumal, father of none. You nasty.
May we who are not Rancor leave in peace?
Who are we? Like
Those who...
it doesn't register anyone else but you currently.
Okay. Shit. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 companions.
Well, you only have one who's in danger, and that's Brebe.
Okay. Well,
you guys are not in danger. You're on the edge of this area. So Brebe is literally in the middle of the shit.
Oh, he's up in the tree, right?
No, he's on the ground. But the ground
he's on the ground now.
Like the moss, the liquid underneath the moss, like its digestive system has eaten away the ground, and so it's slowly making the patch he's standing on loose, so it can just absorb it.
Okay.
Because it's like, oh, there's food on top, but food on area we would use to trick food to get on here, and unfortunately, this food is smart. Godzilla beard.
The next meal you are planning, would you let it pass unharmed?
There's like a long silence, and Brebe and Duo and everybody sees like rocks slowly pushed to the surface where Brebe can have a walkway across to the other side.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. What is this stuff called again?
The Moss of Loss. You can give it a no gray name if you want. I just like the alliteration.
Berry.
Thank you.
Brebe, as you're walking through,
Berry.
you hit some of the residual spore, and you're like, I can fucking taste color, and I can hear sound.
That's nice. I feel like
ooh, that's good.
Ooh, yeah.
Just Lord of the Rings rules. Just take out some vowels, put in some apostrophes.
Also, Klingon rules.
Yeah, for sure.
Fantasy language rules as a whole.
Yeah.
I love it. That's great. That's the Nogri word for it.
Blasphemous.
Look at us, just world building our little asses off.
Loving it.
Brebe, you make to the other side, and the Rancors like don't appear to want to push their way through the wood, and they definitely are not going across the moss. They just kind of hang in the back. And now darkness has fallen and its temperature's dropping. You can literally see the steam off their breath, like up through the trees, because they're like what are that, pugs that have the face, the French bulldogs?
Yeah.
They get that snotty sound because they've been inbred so much. It's like that, except for you can see the steam off of them. And you're like, okay.
We should definitely get moving.
Off in the distance, heading towards the outpost, you hear blaster fire. Meanwhile, Nando, you have dropped out of a second-story window. Landed cat-like, and there's the conduit right in front of you.
Yeah, you'll like open up the company and be like, hey, so I'm at the conduit. It says conduit.
The
on
case, the
outside.
case over the top has been smashed in.
It used to say conduit. It's
Yeah.
been smashed.
You pull the case off, and it doesn't look great.
Doesn't look great.
Nub is like, yeah, like, can you like, pew, 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 pew. Send me some pictures of it. Like, send me something with the comics so I can see what I'm looking at. Because I don't know what that means. They can mean lots of things. They can be like, oh, the shield generator is down, or it can mean like, oh, hey, we have no power whatsoever. I don't know what that means, Captain. Respectfully.
Oh shit! Do these comics have cameras on?
Yeah, I mean, you can scan.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah, it's like a modern phone,
puts
except for fucking cooler and cheaper.
it's
You're
like sparkling emojis on it.
So on his comlink, he like lays it down so he can see like the holographic image as he's still. He's like, oh, this is not the best it's ever been, but it could be a lot worse. And he starts to walk you through like what you can do with the spanner, but he lets you know that like that's just like a temporary patch because like we need parts to keep the thing up and running, and currently I don't think we have those parts, or at least access to them currently. They do have flip comlinks. Burner comlinks.
Boost Mobile's still around.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
Those assholes still exist.
Cricket. Nana's like
flip comlink for shit. New comlink, who dis?
So I don't trust the new ones.
I've got my pictures on it. I can't get rid
this
of
thing's
it.
worked for 12 years. Those things break in a year. I'm not buying them.
Yeah. None of my information's hooked up to the cloud. I need to keep this.
Yeah, I want my information to be on my thing. I don't want anybody else to get it. Everyone wants my information.
There's private photos on there.
Sorry.
What kind of photos? Private photos.
Private photos.
Yeah. Private holographs.
Yeah, they're probably holograms. That's pretty dope. So sorry, Nub is like, cool. It would be cool if we had tools.
We had more parts. You have the tools. He's like, yeah. He basically is like, yeah. You can, with what you've just done, we can turn it on. It's just chances are it's not going to stay on.
Well, what kind of parts? There be parts.
He gives you a quick rundown of what he needs. You're familiar enough with those parts to recognize that you can go take some of that off one of your vehicles and without much of a problem. You understand enough about those to like, okay, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I'll do that. And I was like, yeah, I'll go.
How are you going to get there?
That's the thing. Well, I mean, that's the journey we're all taking. Right?
Not getting straight.
Yeah, so Nando will wait, because our things, they're outside the gate, right? We didn't drive them in. Cool.
No, because the little outpost area was on fire, and you were like, yeah, we're not driving those in there.
Nando will sort of like ease around the building to kind of get a lay of the land.
Okay, you ease around. It's a circular building. You ease around it, and you see like there's people like pushing and shoving to get in, and they're like throwing bodies out that Nub is shot. Some of them still alive, and a couple of them are like, well, I mean, like I could use a meal break right now. So you see like one of them is being like eaten by a few of them. It's screaming and crying and hollering and going like crazy as it's being consumed by its fellows. They're just doing their business, you know. It's just snack time.
So I think Nando, sorry.
I mean, they're there. You'd have to be sneaky as fuck to get around them. And the whole barricade's not gone, just enough for them to like push their way through.
Sure. Are there a bunch of them like at the barricade or?
You're not for sure because it's dark out and they're milling about and there's no lights.
My odds here, but I also can't get back into the window, so like fuck it, right? Nando is going to so I cobbled Nando together, like you suggested, from several playbooks. So one of Nando's moves. You'll be surprised to find that Nando borrows heavily from the Scoundrel playbook. But,
What?
So he does have an ability called Eye on the Door, where you name your escape route and roll cool, and then depending on how you roll, like on a 10
Boy,
plus,
this is an all or nothing roll you're going here.
on a 10 plus, you're gone. On a 7 to 9, you can go or stay, but if you go, it costs you leave something behind or take something with you. And I'm caught vulnerable if I miss.
Okay,
So,
perfect. Yeah, you can do that. I mean, I think you're just going to like wait until you see a gap and you're just going to shoot through using the.
Yeah, I liked this ability because I feel like Nando's force abilities are very vibes based, and so it's very like he's sort of like he has some sort of like dumb luck, and then he also like kind of half of his luck is because he actually kind of knows more about what's going on than he knows he does. So yeah, let me roll that just a second. That beautiful.
Yeah, this is only like the biggest roll in the whole game thus far.
It's fine.
So this can only mean that you're going to be eaten alive if you fail.
Look.
Mustache first.
Come on now, help is on the way.
Okay, that I rolled an 8, and Nando is very cool. That's a 10.
10. You start to like make your move, and you step on some debris and it makes a noise. And as soon as it makes noise, you just shoot forward. You take like 2 almost as long as steps as you can take quietly, and you hit right into right against the debris that is the barrier. And you watch a group of them rush over to where that stick is, and they're literally, some of them are just sniffing the ground. And you slip right out the barricade. And you can see that there's some on the outside. There's a few, and there's like 2 or 3 over at the vehicles, like just trying to like break into them, but no one back there heard you at all. Like you slip out like a ghost.
Cool. I'm a ghost. But not in the way that would have been like I would have been if they ate me. I'm a ghost. So I think he will try to.
There's 2 of them over there.
There's 2 of them over there.
So Nando's sneaking over there, and I don't know. I keep calling you Nandor because of
because
what we do in the shadows.
But...
Yeah. Duo, Breeb, Arakor, you, Venz, and Felicia start making your way, and you can see like these guys are carrying like torches. There's a small bonfire outside in like the road area. And the entire time you guys are making your way, Felicia is quietly admonishing Breeb. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Do you want to die? Is that your goal? Is this like go out in the middle of the woods, you have no idea what you're doing just to get eaten? Like, I thought you were smart. I thought you like Jedi were smart.
I mean, we're not all smart, but yeah.
No, you are not smart. You're cute, but you're dumb as fuck.
That's my charm, though, right?
I guess right now I'm finding very little charm in it.
It's all right. I have a good feeling about this.
Oh, really? The bonfire and the chanting makes you have a good feeling?
Yeah, it'll be
fuck
fine.
Me. So you guys start moving, and Ericor, you, Duo, and Venz come like up to the absolute end of where their light can reach. You're still in the dark. And you count, there's probably a good 30 of the Get, like just stomping around and trying to get into the tower, where that's where you left Nando.
Can we see an opening into the tower?
You can see where they've broke the barricade, and not in a big way. It's like enough for a couple people to squeeze in at a time.
Okay.
But there's a few milling about out here, and there's a big bonfire where you can see they've thrown stuff on and some like parts of bodies.
Ooh.
And we're aware that they're feral and beyond.
Yes.
Okay.
The duelist talked about how the Get are just, they're not even people anymore. They're worse than animals because they chose to be this way.
The question is, are we getting them out or are we getting ourselves in, Breeb?
I don't know if we can all get in.
Vens comes over to Rancor and she says, were you military or enforcement?
Enforcement.
She has her sword, and then she pulls the lightsaber out that the duelist gave her, that was from bad guy from Kyle Katarn games, whose name is escaping me right now. Come on, Nate. You're my Kyle Katarn brother in arms.
I know, and I hate him. It's Jarek.
Jarek. There was one of Jarek's lightsabers that the duelist took off of him. Remember that he gave that to her. And she says, she looks at and she says, "Can you wield a sword?"
I pull out my vibro sword and kind of give her a nod.
She like gets down on her knees in the style of like Nogri to like bless your weapons type of thing.
Ooh.
So when you notice when she blesses her sword, which is again out of a metal that is from this planet and not found anywhere else, it kind of gets a soft glow to it. You look at the hilt of your vibroblade, and it's vibroblade, and she pushes her sword over to you.
I say thank you, many bonuses, and I accept.
In the Nogri fashion.
Yeah.
You gotta make that.
And then I say, let's get these dogs.
She gives you the first smile you've seen, and you know that Zeltrons feed off of emotion, and that amplifies their emotion. So people around her will now feel that same emotion. So Breeb and Duo, Felicia and Ericor, all of a sudden you feel like this overwhelming like feeling of like anticipation and confidence and strength. She looks at, stands up in one motion. She walks over to where Duo and Breeb are, and she said, whenever you give the word.
Pull out my lightsaber, light it.
As soon as you light yours, she lights hers.
Ooh.
All right.
I'm gonna call on the Force before we, as we are getting going on here, and I'm gonna try to hold some Force just in case we need it.
Felicia, when you light your lightsaber, she kisses you on the cheek and says, "Don't get killed." And she just starts shooting. She starts shooting these guys from afar. Everyone turns and looks. Nando, you're like hiding and sneaking up towards these vehicles, and you just hear beep, 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 and then you hear boom, 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 because she has a heavy blaster pistol.
Oh yeah, you know. Felicia has a
Yeah, she's bringing that heavy business.
Yeah, she's bringing that.
So you're like, oh, that sounds like Felicia shooting at people.
He like looks.
And
he's like, oh,
the two Get like start running back towards the building.
I think God is like, okay, we've got a chance here. Don't do anything stupid. And then like, and he's gonna like throw like one of the knives at like as they run by, like just try to like tag him in the back of the head.
Make a hard roll. That's
His
fucking
friends
awesome.
are there. His friends are there. He can't, you
Hard to
know.
get down on the get down.
And he left his blaster with Nub, so you know. This is
Pew,
what he's
pew, 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 pew.
8.
You right in the back of the head, this guy gets it and he falls flat forward on the ground, mud splats. The other guy turns around though, and he pulls out a club, or he raises his club, which it's made of bone and pieces of metal that have been sharpened like in a zigzag, and he comes right at you. You throw another one? All right, don't fuck it up.
You probably will. I've rolled a lot of good things.
You have rolled a lot of good
And
things.
I am rolling on D&D Beyond, so like it's gonna fuck me up at some point. Yeah, that's a 5.
You throw your knife and he just swats it aside, and on the comeback, he just jams it right into your leg. You have like these 3 massive metal points crush right into your leg and cause you to fall on your ass. You also now have a wound. You're like, I haven't been stabbed ever. Boy, this
Yeah.
really hurts.
This is very stupid. Why do people do this? This is terrible.
I hate this. You know what?
I hate
I hate?
this.
Being stabbed by a makeshift weapon.
That sucks.
All right, duo, Breeb, Aracor, you're making your way. You get your blaster fire. You hear a regular blaster pistol going off from inside the tower, which your guess might be Nando. And then, of course, over your,
like a bitch.
over your shoulder, you can hear Felicia just. Boom, 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 boom.
Yep, let's go.
And they're running at us, I assume.
They're starting to pull out of the building, out of the courtyard, like in a flood. You know, like when you see ants moving somewhere and they like literally will crawl on top of each other, or like the very shitty World War Z movie where they butchered one of the greatest books of all time and turned it into a bad movie. The zombies in that movie, it's kind of like that. And they start moving like a horde towards you. Oh.
The rubble that they have, like, because they've broken down the wall, right?
They're broken down the makeshift barricade you guys made.
Okay.
Like they made it big enough for like a person and a half to squeeze through.
What all is in that debris?
It's a little bit. It's a little bit of everything. Like you guys just cobbled it together with as much shit as you could.
I'm going to use my telekinesis to reach out with the force behind them, and yep. And I'm going to pull that rubble from behind them, like to me, through them to hit as many as I can.
Okay. Aracor and Bree, what are you guys doing?
I'm just gonna stand next to Duo and get ready to slice some guys in half as they come to us.
Yeah. I got my fiber sword out and ready to slash the first guy.
Now.
You
You have that specialized sword that blood.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah. I guess I'd love to attack the first guy that's within close proximity.
So while they are kind of standing their ground, like probably 10 feet in front of where Felicia is, Ven's just starts a slow, like lights her lightsaber, starts a slow trot down the hill, and then just starts to speed up, running right at the dead center of them.
Oh,
with her lightsaber.
Jeez. I kind of give like a worried look to Duo and Breeb, and I kind of try to keep up after.
All right, like you're able to move. You go from like running to like sword over the shoulder to all fours, and as soon as you're about to crash into the wall of you double hand pull the sword out. So tell me what you're doing.
I'm gonna like just bury it in the neck of the first dude in my way. And that's a 9.
You drop a guy. As you do, you kind of get knocked sideways, not down, but you're like now you're in the middle of the, like in like old like sword battle movies when the two lines collide and like people get thrown. That's kind of what's happening right now with you two.
Okay.
Except for you're just smashing into a wall of like 20 people. It's just you're both cutting people down. Like she's
Right.
cutting a swath.
Right on.
Some start to break away, Breeb, and run at you guys as duo. What'd you get on your roll?
Sorry, my dice. I rolled an 8 and I have a +3.
Oh, you release a barrage from behind into the back into this swarm, and people are just getting mowed down. Blood and mud and pieces of people are getting smashed. You're killing people, but your swarm of debris actually starts to slow and then fall because you're hitting so much stuff. It can't continue its momentum. Breeb, a few of these guys get up close. They start to run at you. Felicia can't shoot them all. So what are you doing?
Felicia can't shoot them all is what this show should actually be called.
That's the name of that was the name of my R&B. That was the name of my R&B band back in middle school.
Oh, because that's funny because that was the name of my first grunge band's album in 1991.
Anyway, I'm gonna start taking them down. I want to just chop them off the legs so they can't get anywhere, and then Felicia can finish them off.
Oh damn! All right, well, make me a roll. Give me a hard roll, you merciless fuck.
That is an 8.
Okay.
Learned it from Obi-Wan.
Yeah, Breed, you're still a little banged up from the Rancors, so you like fake high and then go low, and you get through the first one. I mean, you like take the bottom legs off, but as it starts to sink and to cleave into the next one, you get bashed into with like basically what it is a stone leather wrapped to a fucking stick, and you get whacked hard. Not enough to injure you, but you are definitely like knocked stupid. And they're just coming. All right, Nando, you got a big metal thing in your leg, and the guy trying to pull it out of your sinew and muscle so he can hit you again.
I think Nando's like, no, don't. You're supposed to leave it in.
What are you doing?
What are you? Stop it! I think Nando is fully gonna like.
You get a good look at this guy's face, and he's all sunken in, and his teeth have all been sharpened. His nose is almost all the way rotted off. It looks like this maybe was a Zeltron at one point, but you can just feel. You're assuming you can because you actually feel pangs of hunger in your stomach from this thing giving off its emotion. And you also just start to feel angry. Maybe the angriest you've ever felt.
Yeah. I feel so mad. I feel like he's gonna like, I feel like Nando, like force-wise, has like very limited like telekinesis / telepathy, and so I think he is going to like just lash out, like, because he's never been here before, and he's just like he's just like fuck off, and like I think the fuck off like goes off as like a light command in the thing's head, but like also force pushes him a little bit.
Okay,
it's just like the strongest fuck off vibe you could possibly give someone.
What would you need to roll for that?
I don't know. What is let me see.
I would assume since you're doing harm or attempting to do harm, it'd probably be a hard.
Probably hard.
You're threatening or assaulting.
I rolled a 10, so it's a 9.
I don't know what's going on in there, Colin, but there's like this vapor going off, and it looks fucking awesome.
Incense.
Yeah,
Incense.
I was like, are you using a special effect? That looks fucking cool. What'd you get? I'm sorry, Nando.
I planned for that.
9.
You push him back. In the process, he pulls the thing out of your leg, and you take a wound. If you don't already have.
I'm supposed to leave it in.
Do you have one? I don't remember. Did you have one from that?
I think I got one from it.
Yeah.
And
you take another as you start to bleed profusely, and you realize, I think that thing's covered in poison. Oh yeah, I'm poisoned.
Oh, cool. Dope. Cool. I'm poisoned.
Smoke on the water, fire in the sky.
Yeah, I think Nando is gonna how is he near one of the vehicles?
Yeah, you probably would have to crawl backwards to get into it.
I think he'll crawl backwards and run the guy over with the vehicle.
So this guy falls backwards and like falls on his ass, and he's scrambling to get up. I want you to make me a cool to see if you can beat him to his feet and get in the vehicle.
Yeah, that's a 10.
Okay. You like slide in, your body's not even all the way in the sphere, and you fire it up just as he leans up and looks, and you run him the fuck over. It's not so much the ball that does him in, it's that when he tries to get up after the ball passes over the top, the giant pod racer style engine at the back end that turns him into barbecue. You look down and you're like, why do my legs not work? Oh God. And you fall forward onto like the steering fucking apparatus.
It's
and
like,
now this
it's
thing is
just a
just
thing.
driving in a circle because you're completely numb.
He's dumb. It's driving in a circle, and like it's for some reason has a horn, and his like head is just like.
And that's when the Rancor breaks out of the woods and comes on all fours, just galloping towards the vehicle. Everyone stops for about 10 seconds and goes, huh. Oh, and the get just start running. They've had it. They're like, fuck this was not a good idea. I'm not that hungry. Actually see some of them dragging like wounded comrades off, and you can tell it's not because they're saving them. Breeb, Duo, you guys look over, and Felicia's like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Ericor, you and Venz are just like in the middle of all these guys, like the circle's tightening in. And when you hear that roar, like I said, everyone kind of stops for a second and they just start bolting. She's still cutting them down as they run. And then she looks at you like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? Like, I don't like, you're the wilderness guy. I live in a monastery. You're muted.
I've got an idea.
I
Back
hope
me up.
She kind of looks at you and she nods her head.
And I take off on all fours towards the Rancor.
She follows on two legs.
I say,
The pew pew from the tower has now subsided.
I yell out, I'm going down the middle. Somebody distract it to one of its sides.
She moves off to the side to do that. And then all the power and the lights go on in the tower. And the Rancor, who's just starting to bear down on the vehicle, like stops and looks up.
Okay. What I'd love to do, if I'm within proximity right now, I want to like using all my Nogri strength, like jump up, and I've got a whipcord, and I want to try to fling it around its girthy, chonky boy neck, and try to like ride it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
What are you using to do this though? Like where is your head at? Is this like a since this is like such an open in a game, I like to hear how you guys are going to do. It's kind of like what I've been doing with D&D lately. Like tell me how you're using the skill. So when you look at this, I don't think it's a hot roll. I don't think you're like trying to seduce or manipulate the Rancor.
No.
And I don't think it's a sharp. So to me, it's a hard, a cool, or maybe even an attuned. So if you're going to be attuned, you have to really explain to me how you're using it. Because I can see cool. Hard makes the most sense.
I'm really good in hard and attuned.
So it's up to
so
you.
I could.
You're the one telling the story. Famous last words.
I'm gonna go with attuned. I feel like my instincts will kick in because I've heard so many stories as a little Nogri growing up about how, people used to just jump on the backs of these guys and ride them around for a little while if they were able to like stay on and kind of ride out their first initial like pangs of rage or whatever.
Yeah,
and
you feel the tales of your ancestors in your blood. You feel like this
Yeah.
is my moment. This is like
And-
I left to do things like this.
yeah, and I'm an old guy, and I'm ready for some new experiences in life. I'm let's
Put
do
myself
this.
out there to this Rancor.
I'm just putting myself out there for the world and the Rancors.
All right, let's see it. Big roll.
Oh.
Don't roll bad.
That's a 10.
So as you're running and you drop your whipcord and you're like dragging it through the ground so it can't see it, and it slowly turns its head to look at you, like away from trying to figure out the puzzle food box that is the vehicle that warriors half in, half out. It turns and looks, and as it turns, you see a lightsaber going end over end over end over end right through its knee. And you see Ven's just running as hard as she can at it. And as it roars and rears back, you jump off that knee, whip that whipcord around its neck, and use the momentum to go over the back and catch the other end, pulling it tight like a garrote. And it starts to roar. And when it like you just pull back on its Adam's apple, and it's like all of a sudden it goes up on two legs, its hands up, and then it just slowly goes down on all four. Now I would like you to make me a cool to stay on.
Okay.
It pans
8.
over and
Duo,
really
what are you
old
and
Malik
Brave doing?
Healy is really sad with his
Yeah. Duo, what are you and Brave doing right now?
I think that we're continuing to try to get into the tower.
Yeah.
Well, they
Be
ran,
real
so
easy.
you can get in easy. Like you can just move that way.
Well then, yeah, let's.
Okay, you guys book over there, and you see this shit happening out in the streets. It's tough in these streets.
Feels like it, yeah.
Do you want to do anything to help, or what would you guys like to do? Because you guys can see Nando half in, half out one of your transport spheres, like driving in a circle.
Yeah, I mean, we need to go over and help Nando. I mean, that's right. That's like why we came back. We
Yeah.
saw that this thing was happening, so I think that we would proceed to do what we needed to do to get to him, to get him to safety.
Is there anyone in the way?
No.
Not for long.
Yeah, no. Venz is moving to pick her lightsaber up off the ground. You see that Ericor is on the back. You got an 8, right?
Yeah.
You're able to control it, and as you're controlling it, you hear crunch, and you watch your arm go out of socket, and you start to lose a hold of the cord, but are able to hold it now with one hand. Your shoulder's completely fucked. Like, you're lucky your arm's still attached.
Yay.
But you're pulling, and it is slowly but surely dropping down onto all fours and kind of huffing and puffing. But you currently have it somewhat subdued.
Okay.
It's making a lot of noises because it's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And Ven's like picks her lightsaber up, standing right in front of it. And then she looks up at you like, am I supposed to kill this thing? Because I'll do it.
No. Get to Nando. Or that guy that I don't know yet.
Yeah. She disignites her lightsaber and meets Brebe and Duo and Felicia at the spinning vehicle, and they're able to shut it off. As you're on this back Rancor, you can see the two smaller Rancors like off at the tree line, like trying to figure out what they're going to do.
I want to call the group's attention to that then. The Rancor's in the tree line.
The only reason you can see them now is because the lights of the outpost are all on.
Okay.
Even the perimeter lights are up.
What's the most immediate danger to me?
Probably being injured more severely trying to control this thing with a whipcord, but there's no other danger besides the fact you're on the back of an
Okay.
barrel.
So all the baddies are dealt with.
They ran, or
Okay.
they're dead.
Then
Neb
I
Rubbins
guess
is just capping fools inside.
what I'm gonna do is try using my body weight because my arm's really fucked. I guess turn the Rancor if I can around to head it to the tree line.
Why don't you make me a tuned?
Okay.
Nando, you guys find Nando in the vehicle, shut it off while you're making that roller. Nando is awake, but paralyzed. Also bleeding profusely from an injury in the leg, like real bad.
Duo, can you fix that?
I'm going to use my one force point to use force healing.
Okay.
Nice.
So I use that the last one too. You can heal them using your force hold, basically like a 1-to-1 for medkit stock. So it's basically like it gets stabilized or can move from stabilized to like.
That would bring you all the way back up, Nando, from your wound. You're still drugged.
Still poisoned.
Yeah,
still
but now
like
he's
just-
enjoying it.
Yeah, you're like, oh well, I'm not bleeding to death anymore. It's all right.
Did you guys put my blood back in? I feel like I need a lot. Blood isn't inside of me. It's supposed to be in me, but it's not. It's out there. I need my blood back. I need it.
You hear Felicia fire off a couple more shots as some stragglers like start to maybe move back, and then she shoots and they're just like, no, we're not doing this. Aracor, what'd you get?
7.
Okay, you're able to turn him, but in turning him, you just fall.
Oh, okay.
You fall like kind of towards your hurt shoulder, but it's so fucked up it doesn't hurt. It's just messed up. You're gonna need medical help. It kind of like once you release it, it kind of turns around and it sniffs you, and then it just kind of slowly moves away, and the 3 Rancors move it back into the wood. And you hear the intercom system for the outpost. I'm assuming that everyone is alive, or at least not completely dead, because those guys ran off. Like, I killed a lot of them. There's all sorts of bodies in the bottom floor. Good job on the thing, Nando.
Thank you.
I can't remember what it was called. Otherwise, what I told you.
Can you engineer my blood back into my body?
I'm not that kind of engineer.
Can
That's
you
why
try?
we need to go find Bragg. He's a medic.
Okay.
Who is that?
It's Nub rubbing, my buddy. Nub rubbing the nub.
Felicia goes, fuck me. You guys drag Nando
And
back
Breed's like,
inside.
hello.
I'll carry him like he's a normal person. I'm not just
Move
dragging him.
everything around, and I'm assuming you're going to reinforce the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. You're able to reinforce the gate as best you can. Get all the bodies out into the courtyard at least. I'm assuming you want to burn them because there's actually a bonfire.
Yeah,
out
we
there.
have a bonfire. We should use it.
Yeah, you just throw the bodies out there, let it burn. That way you're not attracting more predators. Actually makes the fire bigger. So you lock down what you can. Because of Nando's bravery, you have the equipment to completely repair the conduit. And there's enough in there where Nub can assist Felicia, Bree, Duo. Aircore's too fucked up. Nando's too fucked up. Ven stands guard as you guys are able to reactivate the defense field. So if someone comes flowing down here with blasters, it's not going to do shit. And there's some small perimeter turrets on top that are not reactivated that had been apparently down for years. And now you're all inside.
Are the vehicles inside the wall then too?
I'm assuming you opened your makeshift gate and brought them inside.
Yeah.
All right. The one shot because you had to take so much stuff off of it. So you're down to 2. One thing that RANCOR can tell you is that not too far off, there is a... give me a good Nogri word, please.
For what?
Him
For an animal.
The incense.
Anybody.
A Morok.
Thing is so good.
A Lorok?
Morok.
Okay.
What?
No, not you.
Not you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I just caught that before it went.
So a Lorok to Duo and Brebe and Nando and Felicia may have seen these before. They look like a skinny, tall, hairless bantha. So kind of like if you mixed a horse and a bantha, like a draft horse and a bantha. RANCOR, you saw a wild herd on your trip not too far away. So you're like, oh, if we need further transportation, Lorax are pretty easy to quick tame. All right. So what are you doing now that you've all kind of moved your way inside to finally have a little bit of respite?
I'd like to talk with Brebe and Zell about the absence of the Force that's near here and ask her if she knows what that is or if her master knows, what the absence is, and tell them basically what I felt when I reached out with the Force.
Okay. What do you want to add to that, Brebe?
I don't know that I know much other than the trees were messing with my force senses.
So she's able to tell you that how do I put this? I'm trying to think how I want to say this. Venz is able to kind of explain how for time in Morium, the Rakata that were alive wrote stories about how they had great power, but they were robbed of it. And her master, when she was young, when she was given to him, like this is like under 10, would always talk about like that was their birthright and was robbed of them. And then when the travelers crashed, all of a sudden he took a very special interest in her. That he would talk about at different times about the Force returning. That one of these exiles was strong enough in the Force that was like lighting the fire. Like the embers were in the kindling. And that had actually then started to ignite her latent abilities. And that she was going to be the ember that relit the Rakatan flame. That made them go from complete darkness to light again. That the remaining Rakatans, the 7 on Shugo, were all an absence of the Force. They were a blackness on it, just as their people had been when they were cursed to have the Force taken from them. But out here, where planet Shugo is, there hadn't been Force for so long, and then 8 years ago, all of a sudden, something pops up on the radar, so to speak. And the force, like finding its way back, has now caused other sensitives to sort of light back up. And that the duelist, her master, felt that. And she's pretty sure then other Rakatans would too. But that absence you feel, that's one of them. And she reminds you the feeling you had when you went to see the duelist, and how the duelist is an absence of the force. And that's why she shone so brightly next to him.
I feel this is like a real big cop out, but I feel like I would like to meditate on this, which I don't feel like I say very often, but
No,
I feel like that's, I think that trying to absorb all of this and think about what the force is willing us to do in this situation when we're encountered with such an absence and things that have happened that really, are beyond my experience as a Jedi.
Would you like to make it attuned or sharp for this?
I think attuned. I think that I want to. I'm not really interested in like reading a sitch or like getting kind of a yes or no. I'm really
it's what I'm also looking at, like reading of a sitch is like just observing the world around you.
Oh, okay. I think that I want to. Well,
while you figure that out, Bree, what are you doing?
I'm just trying to take in the information. I'm not really the guy that figures all this stuff out.
He does the think, and I do the smashing.
Right, or the defending and the
Ericor, you're pretty injured. What are you doing? That's the other thing. Most of you guys are kind of fucked up right now.
Yeah.
Ericor, Nub, and Nando. Well, Nando's in better shape, but even you, Breeb, you're still kind of banged up.
If we have any medical supplies, I'd like to be using those myself. And if not, I'd love to search the building to see if there's something in the vicinity.
So there isn't Bacta here.
Okay.
Because Bacta was not in existence when the Rakata were around. But you are aware of different like natural herbs and actually like small animals and molds and things like that. Like natural, there's only Bombas. We don't want to get back into that whole business. You're aware of things, but you're too banged up to go out and get them, and it's the middle of the night. So,
okay. Then,
you can ask someone else to do it. Like
is Ven's busy?
No, I mean she's willing to help.
Yeah, I feel like we got a tiny bit of a bond, being in battle a little bit together.
Yeah.
Ven's, I need you to find some Kakamine and some Talakshar.
She just stands right up and leaves. Like she's just going to go do it. Breeb, you're kind of outside, just kind of like breathing in the air, kind of trying to think things out. Felicia's kind of sitting out there with you, just kind of like working on one of the vehicles, and you watch Ven's come out and like leap over the wall. Like fucking
hey, where you go?
Qui-Gon Jinn style, just fucking like yeet. Nando, you wake up and you're sitting there, and Breeb is like leaning on you, like somewhat snoring, doing.
You mean Nub?
Nub. I'm sorry, Nub Evans. Did you guys take care of his leg wound, or has he still got a giant bone spear sticking out of it?
I mean, that'd be Duo's department.
Yeah. I think that before we went
You're like, yeah, I took care of it.
I mean, I think that
Yeah,
before before I try to commune with,
Oh yeah, perfect.
like we went through and made sure that things were shored up and that people were at least stabilized. I think that probably Racker and Nub needed a little bit more than we're able to distribute, but they're not going to die in the meantime.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Racker, you're just like trying to hold on and wait for this. Nando, you are, like I said, you've got Nub on your shoulder, like his hairy Bothan body nuzzled up tight against you. You're finally coming off of being paralyzed. But overall, considering you got completely stabbed in the leg with a giant metal poisoned object, you're like, I feel okay. You're muted.
I am muted. He like sort of like wiggles his fingers. He's like, okay, cool. My fingers work again. Dope. Oh shit. He's like, fucking.
We didn't stabilize.
Like I just disappeared.
We didn't stabilize him well enough.
Sometimes his
I know.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, I think he'll sort of like he'll let Neb stay where he is. He's like, I should probably rest up. This is kind of nice. It's nice to see Neb again. Who else is everyone kind of in the same room, or
no? You guys are in that room. Duo is in the upstairs, like command center area, like meditating. Breeb and Felicia were just outside. Felicia was working on one of the vehicles, just to at least have one that's in great shape. Vens went over the wall. So it's you, Ericor, and Nub are in this room, which is like basically become the makeshift infirmary.
I mean, we can pick it up when Ericor gets back, but I think he'd kind of like look over at Ericor and just be like, who the fuck are you?
Well, you would instantly go, oh, that guy's dressed like enforcement. He's a no grade, so you can like, did this guy survive here, or what the fuck is going on?
Who called the cops?
Here comes a fuzz. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, we gotta go.
So, Duo, what did you end up rolling?
I end up rolling a tune.
Okay, what'd you roll?
I can tell you that once I get back.
You know what's a banger?
What's that?
You know what's a Star Wars banger?
Which one?
No.
The opening theme to Bad Batch.
Oh yeah.
Like where it starts softly and then builds, and then it gets the big like, oh shit. And then we get like the big version of it. It's a fucking banger. I did not like it at the beginning, and now I'm like, okay, this song rocks.
I do love it. All right, I rolled a 10, and I have +3 to a tune.
Oh damn. Okay, so you're like meditating.
Yep.
And you end up like falling into a state where you actually remember studying underneath your master when you were but a Padawan, and them walking you through the archives and talking about the Sith and talking about the fall of empires and the duty of the Jedi to protect the galaxy, to serve as arbiters of justice. And all of a sudden you can just remember him talking about the Rakatans and about how they were a plague across the galaxy. For thousands of years, they ruled the galaxy with an iron fist, powering their ships with the Force, and using like pain and suffering they inflicted upon their slaves to make them stronger, to power these ships incredible distances, and to cause untold death and destruction and subjugation, and that they all of a sudden were hit with a disease. And it not just killed a vast number of their populace across the universe, but it also robbed them of their connection to the Force. And at this moment, because they used the Force to power their ships, they became an empire that was completely cut off from itself, trapped, unable to move. And once they were unable to reinforce each other, they devolved into fiefdoms. And once they became in that, it became a realization that they didn't have the Force anymore. So these massive slave populations they controlled just revolted. And it's taken thousands of years, but the Rakatans basically don't exist. They're wiped out. Because those that survived, like I said, devolved into infighting and warring tribes until there were none left, because they have an innate desire to conquer. If they can't conquer another race, they'll conquer each other. But the biggest thing is they were disconnected from the Force completely. They went from a race that had massive control and understanding of the Force to nothing. You can remember that very, very vividly all of a sudden. And now in some ways that the Rakatans push the galaxy's progress backwards thousands of years because of what they did. They are a galaxy-wide threat should they come back into power, which would be very strange for it to happen. But you have this gut feeling, this incredible fear wells up inside you, in the form of your master. This being talking to you, slowly becoming a Rakatan in front of you, and going from telling you how horrible that would be and how that would be a threat to everything, to saying, we are returning. The yoke of your masters will tighten around your necks, and you won't even realize it until it's too tight to flee. And you look, and this Rakatan's face keeps shifting between 7 faces, one of which you recognize as the duelist.
Weeks.
And then you slowly come out of your meditation.
Yeah.
Ericor, you kind of come out in and out of it, and you look across the room, and you see Nando just looking at you. Like, who the fuck are you?
I weakly raise my hand and kind of greeting. Bombus, Ericor, son of Jathamil, father of none.
Okay, cool.
Cool, man.
What are you doing here?
Solid. Good to meet you.
Like, you just hanging or what?
I am lying on the floor, but I am here to aid your service of bringing peace and justice.
Is that what we're doing?
That's what I was sort of led to believe.
Okay. No, I mean, that's cool. Like,
About that time, Vens walks through the door, and she says, no, we're going to kill the mother. And then she picks up Aracor, sits him on a table, and starts administering these herbs.
Yeah, it had more of righteous violence vibe for sure.
She turns around and looks at you, Nando, and smiles, and she says, it's good to know you have lived.
Thanks. You too. Where were you? What did you guys do?
We found your friend Brebe.
Oh,
we
Ben.
dealt with a Rancor, 3 Rancors.
Yeah.
We ran into Aracor, who agreed to assist us.
That's why they're here. Okay. Cool.
He was able to help us circumnavigate the Moss of Loss.
What?
I know, I can't remember what the cool name for it was all of a sudden.
I mean, Netta would believe
Phyllis
it would be like,
Vimis.
Phyllis Vimis.
bless you. So,
You may have heard of this as like byproducts of it being
actually,
like,
he probably does. He's probably
being
heard
an
of it.
awesome
He's-
drug.
Yeah, he's probably heard of it on, and they were like a science show, so he's probably heard of it. He's
Yeah.
probably- oh, okay. That's here.
It is
You
in
guys
the
ran into that shit and you
Sawdust Mine.
survived.
She looks at you and then looks at Aracor and says, only because of him.
Yeah, you worked the moss, but
Currently he's kind of passed out from she like stops, like
we'll talk
uses her
later.
fingers to close his eyes and make sure like he's covered. And then she said he sacrificed another Nogri to ensure our survival.
Oh shit, that's intense. You guys had an intense time out there.
She like squats down and looks at Nub and then turns and looks at you and she's like, your mate?
No, sometimes no. We were on the same ship. We crashed here.
Ah, ally.
Yeah, he's an engineer.
I'm aware of this. She
Okay.
stops and thinks for a second and she says, she looks at your leg and she looks up at you and she's like, for someone who claims not to be a warrior, you fought like a warrior.
That is really nice of you to say, because I kind of just got my ass kicked like real hard.
She smiles and like, again, it's that Zeltron thing where she's happy, so you feel happy.
Mhm.
And she
Feel
stands
good
up.
about it though.
Yeah, she stands up and she says, where is the Jedi duo?
I think actually, I don't know. I woke up like this, and everyone who was here was here. I don't know.
She looks up and she says, has anyone explored the upper regions of this tower?
I mean, I did before I jumped out the window bravely.
She looks, her eyes actually kind of get big, like, damn, look at the balls on Nando.
We had to like fix the console, right? There's like the command center upstairs.
Your console
Nub fixed the console.
banner. I want my banner back. Drool just going, foaming up and going into his hairy face.
He just tucks the spanner into like one of the, I assume, many pockets on one
His
of the-
hands come up, his little hands, and he just cradles it as tight as he can to his little body, his little chunky body. He
Mhm.
kind of looks like a hamster, actually, like a Bothan hamster.
Just a little guy. He's
She
just
stops and she closes her eyes, and you can see her concentrating so hard. And then she looks up and she says, I have found him. And then she walks up the stairs.
okay. Bye.
Outside, Breeb, you're watching one of the suns start to rise, meaning it's like 3 a.m. And Felicia stands up and she's like, what a piece of shit. And she kicks the side of the sphere, wipes her hands off, and she's like, it'll run. She's like, I'm going to get a couple hours. And she walks by and kisses you on the forehead and walks inside.
Well, at least that works. I should probably go to bed too.
She's turns around and looks over her shoulder. She's like, all right, is that an offer?
Yeah, at least once.
She's like, well, once will do. You two gotta find a quiet place. After 10 minutes, she walks up the stairs. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, man, you can do a lot in 10 minutes.
Duo, you're just coming out of your meditation, and God, how do I forget her name every 2 minutes?
Vens?
Vence makes her way up into the ready room. She stands at the doorway waiting for you to completely come out of your meditation.
Yeah.
The perimeter is secure. Our allies are mending. The Get haven't returned, but they will. I would like to make a proposal. We go to them. We find where they are denning. She looks down at the ready. I don't know, but I can't remember what I called it earlier. Command console. And she turns it on and she starts looking at the geographic layout. And then she starts to pull in on an area a few miles away. And pulling it, and you see a ruin. And you watch like her eyes are almost purple, and then they go back to normal. There. Can you feel the absence even from this distance? And you do.
Yeah.
Even just looking at this representation, you're like, fuck, I can feel that. Like, almost like it reaches out and pulls at the light of you. And she pulls up like an information screen about it. And it takes you a second, but then you're like, I can pretty much read this because it's not in Galactic Basic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a place called the Temple of Luhan. And in your little Lihan, I'm sorry. In your little moment, one of the things you remember is that Lihan was the original home planet of the Rakatans. So this is some type of ruined Rakatan temple.
Okay. I don't like that.
Are you going to tell her that?
Am I going to tell her that?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's
Breeb is there with us, correct?
No, he's out. He's getting some right now.
Breeb. Why you will never receive the rank of master.
He's like, that's all right, baby.
He's okay with that.
Yeah. He is.
She kind of looks at you and kind of there are only 7. It has never occurred to me, but why would the duelist, my master, wish to have one of his only remaining brethren killed? Besides the fact that the mother is a monster. Like, you're watching her ask this of you, and you can actually feel her confusion and apprehension. Like, one thing you realize when you're in a room, when it's just the two of you, like everything, because of your connection to the Force, and almost like the Force is having to run harder than it does normally because of this place. Because she's a Zeltron and she is Force and is able to use the Force, like those emotional states roll out of her much harder at you.
Is there, I mean, I feel like the duelist spent a lot of time on her. Is there?
Yeah, he's had her since she was under 10.
I'm just thinking, like, I meditated and was able to remember something that I hadn't. Is there an opportunity for us to, we talked about like magnifying each other's thing. Is there an opportunity to try to do that, to kind of like reach in to answer that question?
She doesn't understand how to meditate with you. Is one thing she kind of loosely explains that her meditation or her focus has always been through her sword, like combat. Like she has always been taught through combat, and she's always learned through combat and found enlightenment through combat because that's what the duelist teaches. So it's almost like she's also saying, she's half asking and half requesting, is there another way? One where blood is not being spilled.
Yeah.
Because she kind of, in the nicest way possible, is like, I don't want to hurt you.
Don't want to hurt me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Also,
Well, one thing you've realized in this last 2 days of travel is Breeb's really good at defending. You're really good at moving shit around and healing and all this. This lady's a hammer and all she sees is nails.
Yeah.
That's what she's good at, and she's very good at it. Because she's never learned anything else but that. It's like if you were a Jedi and you only did combat. That's all you knew how to do. That's all you were taught to do. If you didn't do it, you were reprimanded. Probably very, very harshly. So she's actually being honest of I'm afraid for me to gain enlightenment through the way I've learned, I would have to hurt you. And I don't think that's okay. We were allies. We're not training. So is there another way? Can you show me a different way to do this? It's less of an insult and more of I don't know how to do this any other way, but you obviously do.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other Force abilities that perhaps she could tune into to see if that is part of her Force sensitivity. I think that one of the things that is interesting about meditation is it's something that is practiced, but there are some Force abilities that are innate and triggered.
So one thing by being around here and hearing this is beyond combat, you realize this person's a tabula rasa. I don't know how powerful she is in the Force because she has no idea.
Yeah.
Currently, she's more of a font because someone awakened the Force here, and because there's not that. So I just kind of look sometimes at the Force as being a reservoir.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have 1,000 people with the Force isn't as strong. But you have 10 people with the Force, it's a lot stronger. And that's kind of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And you're starting to realize when she talked about someone igniting that, it was probably Nando.
Mm.
Him just showing up and having that innate Force ability basically started everything. And she just happened to be the next domino to fall. His Force ability, him basically being lucky, activated her innate Force ability, which then immediately made the duelist go, okay, it's back. I can feel it coming back.
So okay.
Does that make more sense? I feel like I poorly.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about. I'm trying to think about.
Or cyclists, whatever.
For me, then I'm trying to think, about what other things she could, what are other potential Force powers she might have, or if these are Force bonded abilities, right? Has she forged a Force bond with Nando, even though it's a latent Force bond?
Possibly, or you also could be is there a spot where I can just step right into that and bond?
Yeah. I'm also, I'm also thinking about things that she may not be thinking about, but she may not have the words for them because she's only done combat, I think about some of the psychometry and things like that, she might not know, she
doesn't even know what those things are.
I know. And that's what I'm thinking is
that's when you're meditating and she's basically she kind of understands what meditation is basically through combat, but when you're what you're doing, she does not understand. She's that's why she's asking, can you show me what you're doing? Is that enlightenment I can get? Because I don't know. I don't even know what it is. It's such a foreign concept.
Yeah, I think that like sitting down and kind of talking her through a basic meditation, letting her know that this is not going to be perfect or easy at first, but it's something that you can't will into existence, that it has to be allowing the force to flow through you in a way that you have to give up control in order to commune with it. Like, it's not something that you can just hit.
She thinks about it really hard. And then she says, I will try. And she waits for you to tell her what to do.
All right. Yeah, I will just kind of like
with no negative connotations. I want you to make me a hot roll. It's not manipulation. It's more just like getting someone to do something that's way outside their comfort zone.
Sure. Where are my dice thing?
I will give you a +2 because it's someone who's trying to participate.
Okay, I have a +3.
Oh shit!
And I rolled a 7.
So you got a 12.
10. Yeah.
Well, you get the +2, so 12.
So 12.
Basically, like when you're doing this, it's like she's a rock in front of a cave opening.
Mm-hmm.
And you just simply apply a little bit of pressure mentally and it just opens.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be the equivalent of like her mind palace, which is just like a series of training rooms.
Yeah.
And you're walking in and you see like her image of her, which is different than what she looks like. It's very much more like what the Zeltrons you saw all around Pluke Station, like, not people who have shaved their heads and done all these things to their body. It's a very much classic kind of sexy lady look.
Mm-hmm.
And she like shows you everything, and then there's a door beyond everything, and she says, I don't know what that is. Did you ever read the Morrison issue, the silent issue with Jean Grey and Emma Frost went inside of Xavier's head?
Yes.
It's kind of like that.
All right. Yeah.
Like it's a lot of like shapes and places in a very metaphorical sense.
Sure.
So like everything looks like a sword, kind of phallic imagery, I guess, for lack of a better term. But like everything also looks like an obstacle that, because you're so powerful in the Force in this way, like you can see her, she has to work at it. And you're just like, if there's a jump she has to make to get to the next room, she like has to push herself. You just simply like take one step and float over, like effortlessly. And she is, you can tell, like even her emotional state is even more like pronounced in this. Like her opinion of you is already high because the duelist said you will do what the Jedi says. But it's just exponentially increasing because you just do these things with ease.
Mm-hmm.
And she brings you to the black door and says, I don't know what this is. Breeb, you've just wrapped up. You're super sweaty, and Felicia's like, okay, I'm going to go check on Nando, and then I'm going to get some shut-eye. So if you want to sleep this time, she kisses you on the forehead, and she walks upstairs.
I should probably see what Duo's doing.
She's like, oh, your boyfriend? And she just kind of laughs and goes upstairs. She comes in, sees RANCOR is out. She sees that Nub is out, and she sits down beside you, Nando, like kind of similar to how Nub is kind of pressed up against you. I mean, you guys spend a lot of time in space together, so. And she's like softly, is like, what a complete shit show.
Tell me about it.
She's like, Nub killed a bunch of guys.
Yeah, he was really good with the blood. I didn't think that was going to work out as well as it did, but
Well,
yeah, he can fuck some shit up.
you did drug him a lot, and he was terrified. So
He needed it. He needed to loosen. We've told him this a million times. He needs to loosen.
It's true.
up.
It's true. He's a tightly wound little hamster boy.
His anxiety's holding it back.
Yeah. So I'm not leaving. Like, if you're leaving, like, the planet, like, I think I'm just gonna go where short stuff goes for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, he's like stupidly brave.
Sure. Yeah.
And like none of this shit bothers him.
Yeah. It's good
And-
quality.
Yeah, you know, no offense to like any of the people the last 10 years, even before we got here, but it was like the same kind of people over and over again who
Sure.
were just like I was, kind of just like hanging on and seeing where the next thing was going.
Mhm.
No one really like gutsy enough to like follow through on anything, myself included.
Sure.
But yeah, I think this might be something different.
Yeah. I mean, it feels good. Go with it.
Yeah.
You know, those are some pretty strong feelings in a few short days. So roll with it.
Sometimes people grow on you, you know?
Yeah. I know.
She's like, I'm really fucking tired. And she just puts her head on your shoulder. And it takes a couple minutes and she's out. Breed walks up the stairs, like still adjusting his full suit business.
Hey, Ben, you want to get in here? Cuddle puddle. You want to do it?
You're muted, Nate.
Yes, I am. I'll be back in a second. I'm just gonna check on Duo.
Okay, I'm not moving.
You head upstairs, Brebe, and you see God damn it, I already forgot her name.
Ben's.
Vens. I significantly need help with that, apparently.
I
You
do
see
too.
Vens.
I always say Vel.
Vens sitting across from Duo in a meditative state. Duo, as you guys are there, she looks at you and says, I can't open this. Mercedes Benz, nice.
Do you want me to help? Are you ready?
Why would something be there that I cannot open? In my
Perhaps
mind?
it's not something that you've created. Or perhaps it's something that you've created unknowingly.
Jedi Duo, will you help me open this door?
I will put my hand on her shoulder and say, I will help, but it is only for you to open.
Brebe, you see in his trance, his meditation, Duo put his hand across right on Venz's shoulder. Inside the meditation, she takes a deep breath, and with both hands, she opens the door. You look into a complete absence of light, and you feel absolutely nothing but utter darkness. Brebe, you watch as Venz ignites her lightsaber and begins to raise it up at Duo, and that's where we're going to stop.
Hey, we just want to say thanks for watching, everybody. This is a monthly game or a weekly game. It might be a weekly game now. We're not sure. We're really excited to have Colin on board. Hey, Mitch, what's up? So we'll be back next Monday with more stuff.
I love cliffhangers, and I can visibly see when people also love and hate me for them.
I knew that was coming. I'm like, oh God.
Did you know it was coming?
Well, I mean, only shortly before it happened, but
when they didn't do a cliffhanger on whether Brebe was going to get some or not, there was like, well, it's got to be the other Jedi guy.
Something bad's got to happen, right? But I hate the movie. I don't hate the movie Cliffhanger. It's a
It's
terrible
such a
movie. I
shit.
enjoy.
It's a
hate it.
guilty
Terrible
pleasure.
movie, but
Hate it.
John Lithgow's in it,
Yeah.
so I don't.
He's wonderful in it.
I pretty much like everything John Lithgow's in.
Oh, yeah.
In general.
All right,
Mitch.
where can people find you, beautiful, beautiful people, around the internet?
Yeah, you can find me tomorrow doing some Meng on Meng.
Dude,
This Thursday.
I got so many heads prepped today. I mean, like literally, like
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
all Zenithal. So
What does everybody want?
Zenithal heads.
That's right. Thursday, we're doing Nashy Boys. I believe it's Dr. Jekyll versus
The werewolf.
Werewolf. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Werewolf. What? Like it didn't happen in 19 other movies? Can you believe it?
Unheard of. Unheard of.
Trend setting. Paul Nash is a werewolf. What?
As a furry little werewolf, you just want to put in your pocket.
Yeah. He's
Take home.
So awesome as a werewolf.
Yes, he's amazing.
Y'all it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. And on Steam and like Xbox and stuff, Creepin' Colin, find me doing that stuff. Occasionally, if I've got the time, I'll do prep school. And yeah, now we're this Star Wars. So yeah, check it out. Oh, quick shameless plug also. Second Chances Personal Training on Facebook and Instagram. Check me out if you need in-home or online training. Hey, stability, strength, power, what's your deal? I'll help you. Okay. All right.
He'll help you become strong boy.
Strong. Hey, I'm James. You can find me.
Who's it? Hey.
Hey,
How you doing?
damn, James.
on
Immediately we go from like it's Scooter and the Werewolf over to like
And then you just hard cut to NPR, like just
Hey, it's James.
You'll love our sweaty balls. Yeah, you can find me at Huey Beard Walks on the Twitter and Up Your Architecture on Instagram. You can find me here monthly for Star Wars. I felt like I finally got it this time. I was telling Nate, like when we were playing last time, like I think it was like May or something like that. Like and King dropped off. And then Warrior dropped off, and it was just Nate and I was like, I'm finding it really hard to play a Jedi because I don't want to be like a weird like OP star killer to, you know what I'm saying? Like I felt like if I'm a Jedi consular, I'm also not, like you said, like some people are trained in, some people their hammers and all they see is nails, and like other people are trained in healing or telekinesis or healing or other things like that. And I've been trying to walk this line of like not being super stodgy but also being really earnest, and I want to say that I really appreciated the opportunity to do that, and I felt like there was real opportunities for all of our like role playing to shine and like the different characters that we are. I know that's only the third time we've done like this group outside of the like initial thing, but yeah, I felt some games, some sessions, some games you just like feel like you hit it, and so this is one of them. So
well, one thing I will say is I loved the fact when we started the Jedi stuff, you were all characters who were not combat heavy because you were stationed in an area during the Clone Wars that was meant to be more diplomatic. So all of your characters were like, we in the Jedi that was basically in charge was not a we punch first, ask questions later. It was we try to find an amicable solution for all parties involved. And I think that's one thing that is continued to kind of play out with your characters. So, I really like it.
Yes, Spike.
It just
Some
continues.
Jedi are getting laid. Yeah, I'm Nate. You can
Reeves
find me
like,
on most.
There's a Val.
he's
Tell
a
this
Jedi.
fuck it, I'm out.
Things happen. Yeah, so I'm Nate. Most socials at Cubicle Zombie. You can
I
find
literally
me-
thought you were going to go, I'm Nate. I'm your most wanted.
I mean, probably not.
I thought criminal wise.
Oh no, that's the other guy. Not the Jedi. So anyway, yes, Cubic Zombie on the socials. You can find me here second Tuesday every month. And then Tuesday, not second Tuesday,
Yeah.
second Monday. I know how days work.
You do know how
First-
days work. You're a
First
days
Monday
guy.
monthly as well, right?
Yeah, that's DNO.
Yes.
So we might do more Star Wars. Like I said, I've got a Western I want to do soon. It'll be a miniseries. But I've also got other miniseries games. I got a Marvel miniseries I want to run. I still want to do Mountain Monsters. Hellboy. I got a bunch of stuff I want to run this miniseries on the off months of this group. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, this group, I think if there's enough chattering on the Discord, maybe we find extra days for it because I know that people do enjoy it. Well, playing it and apparently watching it because it's a very busy chat. Not just the people playing it in chat either. Who are always
We'll
getting
do
their,
that too.
yeah. Like I gotta get my shit in on chat.
Listen,
well.
I've become a much better player since I figured out I could get my shit in on chat.
Yeah, I know this is great. You're like, man, I can really compartmentalize all my bullshit and put it on chat.
Yeah, yeah, I can save it. I can save the good stuff for
Read the product.
every intrusive thought I have. I can just type it in the chat. Perfect. I'm Warrior. You can find me if I'm on the social, you can find me at Warrior MN, except Blue Sky. You can just at Warrior. You can find me here when things are happening on Mondays. Broadly speaking. Chaos Scar is next
Monday.
and then DNO's the following week.
Yep, back-to-back DNO weeks because we moved it this month.
Dope. Also, I've been playing trivia at a bar with a friend of mine, and we are unsurprisingly the dominant team at the bar. But the
Flex.
but I learn a lot of it's kind of funky because like it's like we host sometimes like people just make up their own questions and bring in people take turns hosting and stuff, so it's a cool vibe. But I've learned like last week I learned 2 really fun facts. One of them is like fully my like if I need a tidbit at like a social event or anything like so the band Steely Dan is named after a metal dildo in Naked Lunch.
I did not know that. That's amazing.
I know, it's the best fact.
I found out where
fact.
Banana Republic comes from today.
Oh, like the political coup thing? Yeah. It's intense.
Windigoon did a video essay. It's like an hour or so long about Chiquita doing war.
Oh, they got blood on their fucking hands, dude.
Yeah, it's a
God, that stuff is wild.
It is a very intense name for a Gap subsidiary. And then this is more fun for me.
I knew like what it was like in modern political terms, but I did not know it came from an actual fact they owned like at one point they had full control over like 3/4 of Venezuela.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Also, just fun fact. Joseph Stalin, young Joseph Stalin, fucking smoking hot. Just like he was the answer to like one of the questions was like identifying people, in it smoke show.
Did you know Saddam Hussein used to write erotic fiction? Even when he was in power?
Really?
Behind the Bastards has a couple episodes about Saddam Hussein, erotic fiction writer.
I am fully going to go look that up. That's incredible.
They're good episodes.
Another Saddam Hussein fun fact wrote YA fiction under the pen name J.K. Rowling. Honestly,
I thought everyone knew that. No, I'm serious. Behind the Bastards is really good. It's a good.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, there's a couple on. They do a ongoing series on Hitler, and weird shit Hitler did before he was Hitler. Like,
wait.
It's pretty interesting.
Saddam Hussein did bear sex before Baldur's Gate 3.
Probably.
He's a real groundbreaker. Good for
Like,
him.
apparently, like the guy who does Behind the Bastards read one of his books, one of his later books before he got killed. It was like, wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. I expected way worse.
I thought it was going to be way worse. I thought this Saddam Hussein erotic fiction was
It was going to be way worse. Yeah.
But I got off like 3 times,
highly
so-
recommend Behind the Bastards, though. It's such a fucking good podcast. They did like 7 episodes on Vince
That's incredible.
because he's that fucking terrible.
I'm so. This is good. This is my next rabbit hole of Saddam Hussein's erotic fiction.
I would say just listen to the podcast all together. Like every episode's a bang.
Behind the Bastards.
Yeah,
It's
about,
super good.
Yeah, it's all about like terrible events and terrible people.
The Steven Seagal and Vince McMahon episodes are wild.
Yeah, the Steven Seagal shit is fucking wild.
Steven Seagal stuff is hilarious.
Yeah,
It's
and
hilarious.
He's such a loser, but also such an awful piece of shit.
The
It's one of my
reason
favorite
he got killed in like there's, I forget which movie it is. It's like he gets like there's a Steven Seagal movie where he gets like sucked off of a plane or something.
Executive decision.
Yeah, and it's
Kurt
because
Russell.
he was such an asshole. They were just like, "You're dead." Incredible shit.
Apparently, he knocked out like John Leguizamo or something like that on set because he was like just making fun of him so hardcore.
The judo.
There's also a great story about where Steven Seagal was like talking a big game, and some guy was like, "I bet I could choke you out," and he
judo
like,
Gene LaBelle.
Yep.
Yeah, and he fucking shit his pants. That's so.
Well,
so
you know
good.
what that whole thing would
So
happen.
good.
So Gene LaBelle was a pro wrestler who was also he also helped Bruce Lee refine his skills to be on TV because the whole thing was like Bruce Lee would hurt people. And it's not because he was trying to hurt people.
Right, but
he didn't really know how to pull his punches. And Gene LaBelle worked in Hollywood and was like good at that type of shit. So Bruce Lee loved Gene LaBelle, which is like a huge compliment. So Gene LaBelle got a lot of work in Hollywood, and they were at a thing. I think it was the same one where he knocked out Leguizamo, because I believe Leguizamo tells this story all the time. Gene LaBelle was like, "I can choke you out," and Seagal was like, "I have a move that will break any choke," and so LaBelle locks it on, and Seagal reaches back and hits him in the balls as hard as he can, and LaBelle just squeezes. He passes out and shits himself.
So good.
And Gene LaBelle, they're like, "How did you do that?" And he's like, "Man, I've been hitting the balls by a lot of tough people stronger and tougher
Like,
than him."
I'm a pro wrestler. Like,
Yeah, he was like, "Come on, man. I trained with Bruce Lee. Come the fuck on." Yeah, Gene LaBelle is fucking awesome. When you like read about him, he's a very interesting dude. But yeah, anyway, Behind the Bastards, must listen. I also would highly recommend Taz versus Dracula just ended, and the ending was fucking wild. I never knew I needed Pinocchio versus Dracula in a finale of an actual play, but I did, and it was wonderful. It's also highly recommended. I'll be here tomorrow, Meng on Meng. Colin Song will, of course, open the show as it always does. Ooh.
Some Lego space, baby.
Nashy Boys on Thursday. I might do something on Friday. Cassandra is maybe going to be gone. I might play a video game or something, a video game. I'm trying to get Doug to play Killer Frequency so I can just like be a part of it. Because I don't want to play it, but I want to be a part of other people playing it. Sunday prep school, Monday Chaos Cup. Gird your loins. It's going to be a rough one. So we'll probably work on that on Sunday.
It'll be a rough one.
I don't know. So far, we only have 3 players. So
for Chaos Car?
Yeah. Brian, we have
Oh
three
wait, it will
regulars.
be.
Brian's
It will
the
be. Oh, Tiburon's so
Weird.
fucked. I forgot.
Is that next Monday?
week from today.
I forgot. Tiburon's fucked.
Yeah.
Tiburon's boned.
You've been in the Feywild for a month. I'm eager to hear what you've been up to. Besides running for your fucking life. Because remember, we do real time.
We do. Nobody saved me.
No one could find you. I know we're here to help you. All right. Anyway, it's 10 o'clock and I want to go to bed. Because I'm like a fucking pumpkin. We love you. I love all of you, beautiful people. Thank you so much. I had a blast. Thank you guys for hanging out and watching. If you see this in the future, thank you for watching. Maybe show up on the second Monday of the month and maybe hang out. That's all I got. I don't have anything more.